Giants Nation, NFC East lovers, how y'all feeling out there today, man? My name is Awthentik. We are finally back for season 3 of Awthentik and The Beard, man. It's been way too long. I see y'all in the chat already. It's hype one time. We're going to keep it lit in here today. I know y'all looking forward to a grand season at least from our New York Giants. And I know all these other teams in the NFC East are definitely hoping to take over this dismal division that we had last year, man, with the Washington football team being the division winner at 7-9, and our Giants almost sneaking into the playoffs, man. Almost, man. Thank you, Philly. We appreciate you on that last game. Dallas Cowboys kept it close last season too, man. So we know this 2021 season is going to be turned up. A lot of pressure on a lot of different players, man. I got to put a hint out there for our left tackle, man. I think there's a lot of pressure out there on Andrew Thomas. But, man, without further ado, let me bring in our co-host, man. Y'all know what it is. Left side, strong side in the building one time. The Beard is in the building, man. Y'all make some noise one time for the Washington football team. Native over here flexing on y'all. He brought out the Washington gear early today too, man. What's poppin', Beard?
We're defending the title. We the champs right now. We on top right
man,
now.
That don't even sound right now, man. Like I said, I go by the name of Awthentik. That's the Beard over there, left side.
Strong side?
Yes, sir, man. I hope y'all turned up ready for a good show, man. So, the Beard, man, it's been a long time since we actually got to touch the internets one time and get to talk to the peoples and whatnot, man. It's been a gruesome off season here, man. A lot has went down. You've got no Awthentik and The Beard coverage for about a good couple of months here. I know you've been busy, man, but how the summer been? How the off season been? Catch up to people on how it's been, man.
I mean, before we even get into football, before we get into my summer, we got to give a big shout out to Awthentik, who dropped an absolute gem of an album this summer.
Oh, that's how you gonna do me? Put me on the spot.
That's the first shout out of Awthentik and The Beard season 3 goes to Awthentik. I know most of you guys have probably already copped the album, listened to the album. If you haven't, I did put a link to the Bandcamp in the description of the video, so make sure y'all show some love to Awthentik. The Color of Us album is an absolute classic, and I thought it was most important to get that out the way first.
That's major, bro. I appreciate that, man. And y'all know The Beard is my brother. We go back, way back since like 1987, something crazy like that, man. So we came up together. That's big. He definitely helped me with a lot of promotion on this album, a lot of support on this album, man. I definitely appreciate you giving me that shout out one time. But, man, what's been good with you, though, man?
So just been grinding a lot, man, trying to keep growing the over the years business. Shout out to everybody, though, like – Giants Nation be showing up at over the years and showing me love. So I got to give some big shout outs to, you know what I'm saying, my man Zach, to Joseph Balby be popping in there, Waterfly be popping in there, Lucas from Australia be popping in there. So big shout out to everybody from Giants Nation who showed over the years some love. I'm getting ready to launch Over the Years Sports very soon. As you guys can see, I got the
Hey, I hate to interrupt you, but look.
Oh, yeah.
This is crazy. So we're simultaneously doing a fantasy draft right now while we're doing this show. We also wanted to do this Sunday show to kind of iron out some details with what's been going on with the sound setup, because the Beard moved out. So Beard's got his own setup. We got 30 seconds. We're on the clock right now. We got Travis Kelce right there. We could scoop up, or we could do our little reach for Tariq Hill. There's a couple others here. Maybe if you want to go running back, Devontae Adams. What you thinking with 20 seconds left?
Devontae
Chat,
Adams,
if y'all got any ideas,
there?
Definitely throw us some ideas. The Beard, I'm hearing a little bit of popping. I don't know if you closed them tabs or not. I'm hearing a little bit of popping. But we got 13 seconds. Who we going with?
I think we take Devontae Adams.
All right, we're going to go Devontae Adams. We're going Devontae Adams. Nate Talks Football says, man, this is moving fast. Yeah, that's how it is, man. We got a lot to catch up on this show, man. So first draft pick of this league, this is with my homie Randall. I think he might be in the chat as well. We're doing a co-team with Awthentik and The Beard here. We went with Devontae Adams there. And I don't know what's up with ESPN. They're not giving me no sound effects when it's my turn to draft, which is kind of crazy. So simultaneous draft going on. We're testing out some things on the audio end of this, making sure our computers can handle what's going on here. So y'all bear with us tonight. This might be a long stream. I don't know how long the stream gonna go, but if y'all here, we gonna keep it popping for y'all 100%. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get back to that. We got Devontae Adams, first pick. There you go.
Not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. But yeah, summer's been good, man. Just it's been a lot of off-season moves, for Washington football team and for the NFC East in general. And it's just kind of been like, what is everybody going to do to kind of, get back into the swing of things with football? Because last year was kind of crazy with COVID, like no training camp, no preseason. So now we got 17 games. It's just, it's a lot of different, parts put into place for the 2021 season. So I'm anxious. Like we were talking before we went live, and we were just talking about how we're anxious. Not even just see everybody again in the chat, but just for the craziness that's about ready to happen in 2021 when it comes to football in general, and especially Washington football team and the New York Giants, and then Cowboys and Eagles get in there too.
I definitely agree with you, man, on the just having a full season here with a full camp. The preseason was kind of cut short. They cut that one game short, but just being able to really get to assess our players a little bit more without just being thrusted into week one and seeing, some teams trying to dust off the cobwebs a little bit and get things going here. So now I will say this to you. We're on the clock again. This joint is flying. This fantasy draft is flying. So let's get back here now. Do we want to double up on quarterback, go Aaron Rodgers early, or you want? I think we could maybe get somebody else here. We got 37 seconds to make this pick. You see the picks on the screen.
Jonathan Taylor or Austin Eckler?
Yeah. What you think about that? I like Jonathan Taylor, but what you think?
I like Jonathan Taylor.
Look at that. We got Nate Talks Football Talking JT. I'm with that. So we're gonna go Jonathan Taylor on this one. Oh, man, come on. You can't be right-clicking for me. Did I get him? We got him. We drafted him. Okay, so let's get back. But, yeah, man, like I was saying, man, I'm looking forward to it now because we got a little bit of assessment in the offseason. Preseason, the Giants kind of are struggling a little bit here in preseason, but we haven't seen too much of them, of the starters, I'll say at least. I know everybody was talking about Andrew Thomas on the last one against the Patriots. But I went back and I looked at a couple of those plays, and it seems like we're having a little bit of left guard trouble with the Giants as well because Daniel Jones likes to take a deeper drop. He's dropping around 7 to 9 yards. Andrew Thomas is trying to push guys to the outside, and Daniel Jones really is not having a lot of room to step up. So I'm hoping they could take care of that by week one. Look like we got enough time. Giant number one concern is just getting healthy. But, as far as the offseason goes, I shout out to all the Giants content creators, man, because I think y'all did a fantastic job of just covering draft coverage, pre-draft coverage, post coverage, the Hub, Entertainer, Diggy, everybody out here. Pizzle been doing some stuff. Talking Giants, man, salute the Talking Giants. They was literally at the Patriots practice with Justin, and Danny was out there, and they were doing live streams. I thought that was like some of the best insight that we could get from some people that we know within the community, which was just totally awesome. But, I felt like we had to take a step back from doing some off-season coverage, just being busy with the album. And if y'all didn't know, the Beard ended up moving out of the crib here where we have the studio, got his own place. This where he's at right now is a temporary setup where he's doing a lot of his collecting and his reselling and his lives from that. So, yeah, we're just, we ironing out some different things here. It's been a long off season in one way, but it's also kind of flown by a little bit, And now we're back for football. I'm excited. The Beard's excited. Y'all should have seen us when we were off air. We're just like giddy kids just getting ready to talk about football. And lastly, the one thing I wanted to touch on was in the offseason, about 4 months ago, I had tweeted out to Nike when I was designing these Nike Dunks that I was trying to design that had a New York Giants theme. Now, Nike ended up pulling the whole ID campaign that they had for the Nike Dunks. And months went by, and I was just like, I guess that's dead. I designed the shoes, and that was it. I never got to purchase them or nothing like that. And then one day I come home like about a couple weeks ago, and I got this big-ass box on my porch, and I'm like, yo, what is this, yo? I opened up the box. I know a lot of y'all saw this on Twitter. I opened up the box, and there's just a bunch of stuff in there. So I kind of wanted to share with the Giants people what I got. So I designed these custom one-of-one Nike Dunks. Nike tweeted back to me and was like, yeah, we thought the shoes were so fire that we at least wanted to print those up and send them to you. Check them out, dude. Look at those, man. They sent me one of one, and I designed these Nike Dunks. To top it off, we're 4 picks before we are back on the clock. To top it off, they sent me this customized card right here that said, let's see if that will get some focus on there, that says, now you can rep Giants Nation on foot 2. The matching pants are team issued as well. So they sent me a pair of New York Giants actual worn pants. These joints got grass stains on the booty. Real practice pants, dude. So, and they sent me this hat. Big shout out to Nike for sending me these ID shoes that no one's going to have. Hopefully, somewhere down the line, Nike will do these IDs, and we can get these set up for other fans. Because, I don't even know if I want to rock them. I mean, dog.
They're clean.
Look how clean them joints is. So yeah, big shout out to Nike on that. I've never shouted out Nike, and that Nike, they're no sponsor of the channel or nothing like that, but just to do something humble like that is amazing. So lastly, to just cap off the offseason, I definitely wanted to show y'all a little bit of that apparel. And they also sent me a Giant shirt that was on the thumbnail, the one I was rocking on the thumbnail. Let's get this third pick out the way real quick.
Yeah,
so we're on the clock in one pick. And we'll get some shout outs once we get that pick. So Terry McLaurin right there. What we got? We got a wide receiver and a running back. So what you want to go? Another running back, wide receiver? I'm loving CeeDee Lamb this year. James Robinson's still out there. Who else still out there? Yeah, I mean, I'm liking the top picks up there a little bit better than others.
I'm thinking maybe we go Terry McLaurin.
You like Scary Terry right there?
Yeah. Who was underneath of him?
Or did he get snagged up? I think he just got snagged up. Yeah, Terry McLaurin just got picked up one pick before. So the person who was on the clock before scooped him. We got 30 seconds.
I hate to do it. We might have to go CeeDee Lamb, right?
I love the CeeDee Lamb pick there. I got CeeDee Lamb on 3 teams now. Let's do it.
All right. CeeDee Lamb
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, man. So without further ado, I see the chat. I ain't even got a chance to read the chat. The chat is popping. I don't know. Oh, we got 55 people in here right now. Salute to all y'all here. Giants Nation, y'all know we in the building one time.
I
know the Washington football team is in the building. So let's get to some shout-outs.
Everybody. We're going to go ahead and thank the people who for the Super Chats. Wolves is in the building. What's going on, Wolves? Appreciate it. $2 Super Chat says the Beard having that 20 stash. You know it, baby.
Big facts one time.
Big shout out to Nick the Wick in the building. Says, first dono of the year. Can't wait for next Sunday. Well, we cannot wait. It is going to be lit, lit, lit. Big shout out to PJ Torres for the $4.99 super chat. I ain't say 99 cents in a minute.
You ain't said 99 in a minute.
Big shout out to the Hub. If y'all not subscribed to the Hub, make sure y'all subscribe to the Hub. Says shout out to the homie Awthentik and The Beard back at it. Love meeting bro in real life. Gotta meet the Beard, man, and love having these streams back. We love to be back. We love to see you guys in the chat. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, we big turned up at the Giants Fan Fest, man. That was
the video. Awthentik, the video Awthentik put together was lit. Big shout out to Kaylin. We should
have uploaded that too.
No, we did.
Yeah, I'm talking about we should have uploaded it as a commercial to the stream. That'd be a good one.
Coming soon. Kaylin, big shout out. $1.99 super chat says we back. Miss you,
Tim,
lads.
Don't forget because he changed the name. Kaylin Dragon 56. I think it was 56. I always forget, but shout out Kaylin, baby.
That's right. Big shout out to Cody Gents. It's been a while, brothers. Where my sirens at? Oh, we got the police sirens for him. There it is. I need some help right quick, though. Who do I pick for my week 1 survivor pool? I'm thinking Tampa Bay, but I don't know.
Ooh, Tampa Bay would definitely be a good pick on that.
Or whoever's playing the Lions for sure.
Yeah, the Lions are going to be some dookie
The Lions for sure as well. And then big shout out to... Who'd I miss? I missed it. Here it goes. Boom. Big shout out to Maria Rivera.
Oh, what's up, love? How you living?
$20 super sticker.
Maria in the
love.
building. Hey, love.
Thank
how you
you
doing?
very much.
We're on the clock in 2 picks here before we get to the next one.
Oh, so big shout out to everybody else in the chat. Sean G's in the building. Joseph Bobby's in the building.
Hey,
who else we got?
To meet Joseph Bobby on the FaceTime. What's up, Bobby? How you living?
Big Blue in the Bronx is in the building.
Hey, got to meet Big Blue in the Bronx too. What up, fam?
We going Robert Woods?
You are on the clock. Ooh, Robert Woods, man. Chat, how y'all feeling about Robert Woods? I don't know about that. It is kind of slim pickings at this point. We got 2 starters, kind of. You like Robert Woods there? I mean, with Matthew Stafford, he might turn up. Ooh, he likes Godwin. Nate talks Giants, talks football, likes Godwin here.
Godwin in the building. We need more running backs. Yeah, but there's none of you good running backs right now in that top tier.
You got Swift, Carson, Gus Edwards, Javonte Williams, Kareem Hunt.
Ooh, Swift or Gus Edwards?
I don't like Gus here. 10 seconds. Swift. Lions? Are we sure about that?
Yeah.
All right, we're going Swift, y'all. DeAndre Swift. Yo, that whole right click situation my laptop doing, that is crazy.
Big
So we're
shout
on the
outs
clock
to
in 14
football.
minutes. Let's get
14 picks. Big shout out to Football Talk with Benny in the
What up,
building.
Benny? What up?
Gravetti is in the building.
Gravetti in the building. Appreciate the retweet, Gravetti. I appreciate that, fan. Mac, the Giants fan, in the building. Y'all make sure to go check him out, too. He's got a lit channel as well. Layla Capri on the road, fresh off the tour. What's up, girl? How you living? I hope that tour is just going exactly how you imagine. Fire artist from the D.C. area.
Big shout out to Layla Capri. Big play Slay.
Hey, Big Play Slay is an Eagles fan, young bull on the come up, but definitely knows his football. I got a crazy idea. I want to take Big Play Slay and Joseph Balby and make a channel, because Balby does Giant stuff and Big Play Slay does Eagle stuff. But I think that of the young cats coming up right now, they're two of the best. And if we could set them up with a fire setup, I think they'd be a very interesting podcast. On some Awthentik and The Beard kind of. The youth vibes coming up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going
to reach out to y'all. I literally wrote that on my board when I talked to Slay the other day on one of them chats. I think it was on the Hub's channel, so shout out to Hub. But I think that would be a fantastic idea. We definitely got a politic on that.
Big shout out to Joe Deals, our resident Chicago Bears fan. What's cracking, Joe? Good to see
Joe
you,
Deals
brother.
back in the building. What's up, fam? How you living?
Thrift Beast checking in from Canada. What's going on, Thrift Beast? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping by.
What's
Who
up,
else
fam?
we got?
What's up?
We got Tonio Bot 721.
Hey,
says hello.
What's up? That might be Tonio, who I'm thinking. That might be my little godson one time. So we'll see. I don't know. He be
And
changing
shout out
his
to
names.
everybody who's watching us on Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, all of the above. We appreciate all the love. Wales to New
that
Jersey.
draft is just
MUFC is in the building.
Hey, Wales in the
Talks
building, man.
Giants.
It's good to see the regular faces right back, yo. It's like first stream, we back in the building. Barely announced it. I literally just put up a tweet like 2 hours ago, and we got squad in the building one time. I'm happy to be back, man.
And big shout out to the Cardinal Rule. They do a dope YouTube channel on the Arizona Cardinals. So if you guys get a chance, make sure you check them out. Big shout out to them. We appreciate it.
I got to check them out actually for the first time like last week, man. Definitely digging the vibes, man. Very knowledgeable on the Cardinals, man, and just football in general. You remember when we did the I want to say that was the playoff game with Washington football team versus the Bucks, when after that we did that long stream for like 6 hours and he pulled up and we chopped it up for like an hour on that stream. That was pretty cool.
And big shout out to the homie, the Tesla picker, who's also a Dallas Cowboys fan, says he was mad about that. He has some dunks designed too.
Hey, they surprised me, bro. They straight surprised me with that, man. I was just like floored by it. I mean, just the big package. I'm just like, wow. And then to throw in some extra Giant stuff, man. Big shout out to Nike one more time, man. That was fire.
Perry Mack.
Perry Mack back in the building.
99.99.
Hey, for a second, I thought that joint was a 99.99 super chat. I said, bro, come on, man.
Can't forget Marjorie.
Oh, Marjorie on the report. Marjorie going to be like
Great
our
to
sideline
see
reporter,
Marjorie.
injury report.
It's
Good to see you
super
back in the
exciting
building.
to see
Hey,
everybody
we're on the clock
again.
one more time. You see these picks on, they know what they're doing over here, man. This is flying by. So we're
Speaking
back
of
on the
picks,
clock. We
Mary
got
Ray
49
picker.
seconds to make this pick. Julio Jones right there? Wow. Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, Myles Gaskin, Kenny Galladay. That might be a next round type of thing. Let me just check something real quick. Okay, somebody went and took Aaron. So 25 seconds. Who you liking here?
I like Brandon Ayuk.
I like Brandon Ayuk too. Wales says Julio. Nate says take Lamar. What you think about Lamar? I like Lamar here. You know he's not going to be here. I got 10 seconds.
Is Aaron Rodgers still there, though, for the stack?
No.
All right, let's go Lamar.
Yeah.
We're going Lamar.
Good call, Nate. I like that. That's a great pick. That's a great pick right there. Dynamic.
It's kind of crazy how we're flying through this. So,
I know, dog. This is wild.
We appreciate all the help for sure.
Hey, we've been live for about 20 minutes. I feel like we've been live for about like 6 minutes, man. This is just flying by, man.
Yeah, so it is. Yeah, this draft is pretty crazy, Nate. Trust me.
Yeah,
this
it's flying, man.
We also did a draft earlier today too, so
yeah,
we've been
4
like big crazy fantasy lately. So big shout out to Jesse Martin for the $2.99 super chat. We appreciate it. Love it as always.
Appreciate that, fam.
Appreciate
we forgot about
support, the
these.
love.
Thank you, brother.
Oh,
Appreciate
yeah.
the super chat.
Los is in the building. What's going on,
Hey,
Los?
Los back in the building one time. What's up, fam?
Hey, I got to give a big shout out to my man Mark at Knucklehead Sports Breaks. So if you guys are looking to get into some sports breaks, whether it be memorabilia, cards, go follow Knucklehead Sports Breaks on YouTube. Mark is a great guy, and that's actually where I got my Terry McLaurin autographed Washington football team helmet, was from Knucklehead Sports Breaks. So big shout out to him. Make sure you guys check him out. He's a Panthers fan, so
and
great
a quick
dude.
little plug for the Beard one time. He's going to be launching Over the Years Sports Channel, which is just going to be pretty much based around memorabilia. Wait till y'all see some of these gems my dude has, yo. He's got so much sports memorabilia. It is like the whole basement over there is just boxes of stuff. It's just boxes of stuff, yo. I can't wait for y'all to see it. So we're going to be launching that channel real soon too, man. Can't wait to get that one popping, man. Tim's got the setup looking real good over there. So we're almost there to get to the Over the Years Sports
yes,
release.
Sir. Big shout out to Lowe's for the $5 super chat. We appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much. It is just really, really great to see everybody in here. Steven says, yo, shout out to Awthentik and The Beard. Back at it.
I appreciate that. I saw he said that he normally doesn't comment, man. We just appreciate you tuning in, man, and just showing love and supporting this channel, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Ash Money,
you know what it is.
Building.
Hey, make sure y'all go sub up to Ash Money, man. Ash Money, super knowledgeable Giants fan. Definitely knows I'm always just copping for my man Lamar Jackson one time, man. I'm about the consistency, man. You know, I'm about the consistency. Y'all might have seen me today on Twitter chopping it up with Mike Too Nice about whether or not drafting Saquon Barkley was the right move at the time or not. I thought that was a pretty engaging and interesting conversation. If you haven't seen it, go check that thread out. That's a good one.
I was waiting for Waterfly to jump in here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Waterfly with a $2 super chat. Heineken.
I forgot about the Heineken. Hey, that's what's up, man. Waterfly been dropping by a lot of your over the year streams as well.
Yo,
too, right?
Waterfly be in Tommy and Tracy's chats. Waterfly be everywhere. Big shout outs to Waterfly. He's always
Tommy and Tracy,
everybody
they
down.
be going live for like 9 hours, bro. Like they be live the whole day. I'm like, oh, y'all still here? We're on the clock, bro. In one pick. Let me just pull this up real quick so you can take a look.
And we're caught up with the chat now too. So we're getting here. It's gonna be a fire.
We can slow it down a little bit.
Stream. All right. So where does our roster construction look like right now?
Rosters on the left. We got Lamar Jackson, Jonathan Taylor, Swift, Adams, and CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
Kenny Galladay in the top spot right now. I drafted him in Muhammad's league, the one we did at 4 o'clock.
Tight end is TJ
we got 45 seconds on the clock. Javonte Williams, trust me on this one. Or Mark Andrews. Wales says Andrews. Getting a good tight end here would be solid.
Look, I think I like Mark Andrews because that's going to be our stack with Lamar Jackson.
Done deal. Hey, appreciate y'all pulling up and giving us a little bit of help with this fantasy league here, man. That's awesome. And don't forget that on Sundays pre-game we do a show called The Parlay, where we're doing it's a very laid back, just chill show where we just kind of take questions on fantasy and just kind of chop it up together, helping each other out with our fantasy lineups and just kind of going over each game, going over stats and things like that. So make sure y'all check that out. That happens every Sunday at 11 a.m. That's probably one of my more fun shows, man. I get to kind of lay back and not be so focused on the production, kind of just chill and talk some football. So I like that pick, though. I appreciate that. Wales and Nate Talks Football definitely holding it down for us one time. Hey, Joel in the building. Giants Nation in the building.
What is
Joel started a channel too, man. Y'all make sure y'all check him out as well.
Yes.
Nate Talks Football says, "Donde está Scotty?" So Scotty got a job last season that is pretty much is holding him out of the podcast from here until further notice, until we, maybe he drops that job or something like that. But it's really just Awthentik and The Beard from now on out. Shout out to Scotty one time who definitely held us down during season 2, but life kind of getting in the way, and this podcast stuff's kind of fun. You got to have the time for it and whatnot. So big shout out to Scotty though one time.
Faux show. And look, Javonte Williams, trust me, I'm a big on Javonte Williams too, Nate. Like, running back out of the University of North Carolina, he's going to definitely challenge Melvin Gordon for some carries in Denver. So I'm a big Javonte Williams fan. I actually got a stack of Javonte Williams autographed cards already. He's one of my sleeper guys who I've been kind of investing in. And then also Terrace Marshall Jr., wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. He's another guy I really like who's kind of low-key. So definitely keeping my eye on him as well. Faux show.
So y'all know what it is, man. This show, I'm trying to kind of get a little bit more deeper into this fantasy draft here before we really get to breaking down this schedule. But the whole concept of this show is we're going to be breaking down the schedule from a Washington football team perspective and from a New York Giants perspective. We're going to break down our schedules first, and then we'll go into doing the Eagles schedule and also the Cowboys schedule as well. You know, we talked about these predictions off air a little bit. There's going to be some shockers here. This is going to be a fun show. But we are on the clock again here. We got 45 seconds to make this pick. A couple wide receivers still out here. What we looking at? I mean, we filled I'm so glad we filled all the first starting kind of positions there. We got 2 flexes left here.
I like our starting lineup as of right now for sure.
Yeah, definitely love more.
All right,
Let me just see the running back situation. Mostard, Drake, Fournette. I don't like Fournette there.
Yeah, I think we can kind of we can fall back on the running backs for a little bit. I think.
Yeah, we can wait for a little bit there. Who you liking here? Juju's gonna get some targets for sure.
I really like Judy and you guys. You know I'm big on LaVisca, so I mean I'm either gonna say LaVisca or Judy in this situation.
I like Judy. I think I'm gonna go Judy. And that's good. Right when I looked up, I see Wells saying Judy. And shout out to Kalen, who also said Judy, and he also said Mark Andrews, man. So, yeah, it's good to see that a lot of people are on the same page when it comes to some of these players, when it comes to fantasy. Yeah, and I feel confident about that pick. Let's make sure we got that one. Yeah, we got Jerry Judy. Okay. So we can get back to this. So you think – so, okay, how many picks do we got left, first of all, here? We got 9 more picks left. So you want to get into the schedule?
Yeah, and then
also when we get into that schedule, it's do or die.
And also remember to everybody in the chat, this is also a live Q&A. So if anybody has any questions at any point in time, you know what I'm saying, you guys want to bounce some stuff on us, whether it's, fantasy, Washington football, New York Giants, something that we're going over during the schedules, just let us know, you know what I'm saying? This is
Facts.
This is all about, you know what I'm saying, interacting and getting back into the swing of things. So, we just want to show our appreciation for your appreciation.
I hear you sneezing up there, Gretz. Bless you.
We here.
My girl upstairs sneezing. I know she in the chat. Bless you.
Hey, look who it is. My man
Inkwella in the
Craig
building.
is in the building. Inkwell, what is going on, brother?
Another
Checking
dope
in
artist from the area.
From Periscope.
Hey, hope the
AKA
fam is
Twitter.
well. And you on Periscope. Nice. Hey, you were saying let's log in them Twitters, man. That might work out for us. That might work good. All right, man. I'm a little nervous to get into the schedule with this fantasy draft looming over here to my right. I'm like, man, I don't know. We're on the clock in 4 picks.
Well, I mean, this let me tell you, this is like night and day in comparison to the way that the draft we did earlier today was moving.
Yeah, this one's flying. This one is flying. We're in round 8 already. So
I mean, we're gonna need a running back for sure.
We're definitely gonna need a running back. So is that should be our next pick, you think?
It depends on
I
where
like Leonard
we're at.
Fournette this year, man. I think Leonard Fournette finished really strong in the playoffs last year and showed people that he can be a receiving running back. I mean, I don't know if you remember the touchdown that got them to go ahead in the championship game. Like, Fournette's doing his thing. So, like, I kind of like that pick, even though it's a crowded backfield.
Yeah, it's crowded backfield.
And you love you some Keyshawn Vaughn. You remember he fumbled and they were like, bro, go sit down over there. We'll holler at you in a little bit.
We did have a question right here. They said, should I start Gallup or Hardman at my flex this weekend? Listen, I'm a
What's the matchup? What's the matchup?
Gallup going against the Bucks on Thursday night. Hardman, this is going to be McCole Hardman's coming out party.
Yeah.
Because Sammy Watkins is gone. And so, there's that kind of like this battle over there between who's going to jump into that number 2 spot. And I think McCole Hardman's going to have a breakout year this year.
I'm
more
with you
volume.
on that. Mecole Hardman's probably going to get some more targets as well. Gallup kind of, third guy. He's the kind of guy that is going to have a big season, though, to stick around in Dallas because they got a lot of wide receivers over there. But I go Mecole Hardman on this one, and it reminds me of the stream that Diggy and them was doing with Hub and Fisk earlier that I tapped into. Bro, y'all, I ain't going to say y'all. Some of y'all was talking crazy in that one. People were saying that Kansas City Chiefs offense is not that good and that the Giants offense should be better than the Kansas City Chiefs offense. You know how I like to say people smoking that Huff, man. This year, I think they smoking that Huckabee, if you think that. I'm high on my Giants, and I hope we are better than the Kansas City Chiefs. But to act like the Kansas City Chiefs are not one of the number 1 offenses, if not the number 1 offense in the NFL, is just completely bat crazy to me. But outside of that, it was a very interesting stream. I enjoyed myself while I was there. The chat was just going off. Shout out to the hub for holding it down, too, because he was the only sane one on that panel at the time, I feel like. But shout out to the rest of the content creators that was on that panel as well. We are on the clock with 25 seconds left. So let's go here real quick one time. So what you liking at running back? Jamal Williams is there.
No, we already have Swift.
Naheem Hines is there. He gonna get some.
I'm still not. Go back to the main board real fast.
6 seconds. Juju.
Or it's LaVisca.
Oh, we didn't get him. You shouldn't have did that.
Damn it.
It auto drafted for us. It gave us Juju, so that's awesome.
Okay.
It's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, don't be getting me with no 2 seconds. LaVisca. You can't do me like that, bro. I know I messed up by pulling it up with 25 seconds left.
Big shout out to Simon. He reminded me. He said, I saw in the chat, he said, y'all missed my super chat. I'm not going to get ripped off of the beard saying $9.99. So big shout out to Simon for the $9.99 super chat. Says, glad to be back watching you boys. You know I'm going to need that fantasy advice again this season.
Hey, appreciate you pulling up, Simon. That's love, bro.
Hey, big shout out to Dwayne. Dwayne's in the building. Big shout out
to Dwayne. Dwayne's a Browns fan, man. And we was on the phone
how
the
the Browns
whole playoff
gonna be,
game.
Dwayne?
Browns are going to be solid. Browns are going to be solid. So we got 12 picks before we're on the clock. That ought to give us a little bit of time. Yo, ESPN need to get that sound thing better. It's not working on my end. I don't know what's going on. So,
shout out to 49 people in the chat right now.
Yeah, that's lit, man. That's lit, man. We just getting back. Like we said, man, it's kind of like a test run. We just kind of trying to just get back. Balby saying, check your Twitter DMs, Big Play Slay. Yeah, y'all need to go ahead and do that. And I'm willing to help y'all at every capacity to get that right, man. So put me in the group Twitter DM if y'all want, and we gonna get that lined up because both of y'all really know y'all football, and I think y'all are a great pairing. So man, what's up? So should we get to this schedule or what? What you thinking, man? What you thinking? Is it time, or you feel you're a little nervous on that draft one time?
No, I mean, we can do either way. I mean, we're pretty much almost. We only gotta.
He said, "Y'all are great multitaskers, yo." Hey, shout out the Flight Room, yo, because they're the ones who are hosting the fantasy draft that we're on right now. And make sure to go subscribe to them. They do a multitude of different kinds of content. They also cover football, but just a lot of current events and things like that as well, too, man. Awesome podcast they're doing, and that's the homies from around the way. Make sure y'all go support them at the Flight Room TV. We're doing this draft right now. I think we're doing okay. Thank God it's two of us, man, because I don't know if I could do this by myself, the beard. This would be kind of crazy.
It's good. It's good to have this is our first Authentic and Beard one team in fantasy.
Yeah, we never done this, man. You're right. You're definitely right about that.
So
man.
it's kind of cool, and it's good because we're literally sharing the experience from the beginning with everybody who's here supporting Authentic and the Beard.
Yeah, hopefully we could get a chip with this league. That'd be really cool to share that with everybody here, man. So
for sure.
For everybody who's new here, man, make sure y'all go and subscribe, man. Authentic and the Beard. Y'all know how we spell it. AWTHENTIK. Yeah, we've been doing content now this is gonna be our third football season, our second season of doing all live content. Definitely check us out, man. We're gonna continue to hit you with the heavy dosage of Washington football team and New York Giants football, man. I hope y'all went and checked out that new thumbnail that we got, or actually that new banner that we got on our page, man. Shout out to Keenan who held us down. He's a Giants fan. He did all the designing for that. So salute to him. It's really awesome that we could reach back out to the Giants community or the football community just in general to get some services actually done, which we'll also have another big announcement coming up week 2 that has Keenan involved as well, man. I can't wait to share that one with y'all as well. So yeah, man, big shout out to Keenan once again, man. Giants Nation, you know how we do. We always in the building.
And this is gonna be the first time in a really long time where Authentic and the Beard do Giants and the football team tailgate extravaganza this early in the season.
Yeah,
week
man.
2.
Week 2, man. Week 2 with Authentic and the Beard. That's going to be amazing, man. I really can't wait to get out there. And, I always love the tailgate anyway. The tailgate is just fire. I like it. That's one of my favorite ways to party. FanFest gave me a little taste of that. Shout out to the hub, man. We was definitely doing some damage at that tailgate. And shout out to the entertainer, too. New York, we left our footprint. We did some damage in New York. I'm going to keep it 100. We did some damage in New York, man. And shout out my homie, The Pest. I don't know if The Pest is in the chat, too, who drove, all the way from Virginia, DMV area, Washington, D.C., scooped me up. I got to meet the Pest, hung out with him. We got hotels in the same area and all that, kicked it, chilled vibe. Pest is a super cool dude in person, man. I had a blast just hanging out with a bunch of Giants content creators, man. So I'm really looking forward to that week 2 matchup, man. You know, and but once we get into this schedule, we can kind of, you know, talk about how I'm really feeling about that game. I ain't gonna let the cat out the bag too much, but let's be a little prompt on this draft real quick one time. You can read that real quick, and then I'm gonna pull up the draft.
Big shout out to the homie Jimmy from Old School Flip says Giants starting 0-1 because you know Jimmy is a Denver Broncos fan.
I ain't mad at you, Jimmy. I ain't mad at you. Broncos definitely made some moves. That defense is much improved, and the defense was already pretty decent, man. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the Broncos myself, man. The edge rusher situation, and then cornerback that y'all drafted. Who's the cornerback they drafted again? Surtain?
Nah, not J.C. Horn. He went to
not Seahorn. I said Surtain. Wasn't it Surtain?
Yeah, Patrick Surtain Jr.
Patrick Surtain, that's who it was, yup.
I was thinking because it was him and J.C. Horn were the top 2 cornerbacks that got taken in the draft. J.C. Horn
Kyle
went to the
Pizzle was
Panthers.
heavy on Seahorn. He thinks he's going to be the best corner out of that draft. I don't watch a lot of college football, so I couldn't tell you. I got to see these guys get on the field. We're up in 1 pick. This is what it's looking like right here, all positions. Fuller, Boyd, Gallup, Fant. Yeah, we already got our tight end. Now we really just filling other roster spots, man.
We need another running back.
We do
What's
need
the
a running
highest
back.
the highest ranked running back right now?
Let's get him. Let's get him. He's right there. He's
What
right
about-
there. Don't say A.J. Dillon.
No, I wasn't gonna say AJ Dillon. I was gonna say either James Conner or Michael Carter. Michael Carter's
I'm a
reach.
little iffy on James Carter. I mean James Conner. I'm a little iffy on him. You know, new team. I'm not too sure about him. Let's see. Chat got any suggestions on this one? Running backs right here. Who y'all liking?
I don't
I
know,
like James
but we
White
only
better
got
than I like a couple of them. We got 5
5,
seconds.
4
I like
seconds.
Fournette, bro.
I'll let you take this one.
Oh, well, that was the last pick anyway. So we still got some time. We're on the clock now with a minute. I got Fournette queued. What you think? You like anything else?
I mean, if we're gonna go running back, I'm not mad at Fournette because he's not gonna be our starting running back. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be on our bench. So it's either between him, James Conner, or Michael Carter. Those are my picks at running back.
Yeah. I'm digging Fournette. You know, he turned it up at the end of the season, so I think he's going to get a lot more, you know, just a lot more touches this year, and they'll find a way to get him involved in the passing game as well.
Yeah. I mean, we could handcuff DeAndre Swift with Jamal Williams.
Oh, yeah, and have both. But I'm worried about them because that team's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I'm going Fournette.
All right. We're going to go with the authentic gut.
I'm going with Fournette. Yeah. I like that pick. All right, so we got 7 more picks before we're on the clock.
Okay, so 7 more picks. And 2 of the or how many more picks do we have left? Because one of them has to be a backup quarterback, and one of them has to be a tight end.
Yeah, so we got it's round 9, so we're looking
how many
at
bench
another 8
spots
picks.
are left?
5 more bench spots.
Okay,
Kicker
so
and defense.
2 of those bench spots are backup quarterback and tight end. So we have 3 other position players before we get a backup quarterback, backup tight end,
Yep.
and then kicker defense will be our last.
What
2
you want to look
picks.
for next? Let me just give you an idea of what the board's looking like as far as all positions right here.
King Tone is in the building. What up, King Tone?
Hey, shout out King Tone. What's up, fam? How you living? Didn't miss too much, man. We just did a little introduction. Just getting back in the swing of the things. Showed off this Nike apparel that Nike sent me, this New York Giants stuff. Talked about the Beard summer, the off season, and we started this fantasy draft because we're simultaneously doing a fantasy draft as we're doing a schedule breakdown as well, which I don't want to get. We already 39 minutes in, right? So we do got to get to these schedules soon. We got 4 picks before we're on the clock, so let's get to that pick, and then maybe we start with the Washington football team schedule.
It's Labor Day weekend too, so I know a lot of y'all ain't got school, y'all ain't got work.
Oh, that's fact.
So y'all here partying with Awthentic and
right?
The Beard.
I'm happy, man. I could stay. Yo, if there's people here, we'll stay. Ain't no thing.
Yeah, we're here for the people. We are here for the people. Shout out to
Will says
Authentic's
take a
Nike
quarterback.
hat though.
Oh yeah, they blessed me with that. And y'all know I don't do the shout out to Roldy. I don't do the fitteds or the snapbacks much, but yo, Nike got me like, we might have to change that. I know Roldy gonna pull up like, what? Authentic with the brim? Okay.
Nah. I'm not gonna sell
Them
Authentic.
pants, man. I don't know about holding on to some pants and another player had his ass in. You know, I don't know about that. We'll see. But everything else ain't for sale. Them dunks, I'm contemplating not wearing them. The Giant shirt they sent me is fire. That joint was on the thumbnail. And the hat is being rocked right now. Somebody said, put it on my Twitter. Somebody was like, yo, why don't you put on all the gear at once and take pictures, with the pants on? I was like, go ahead, dog. The way my frame's set up, I'll be looking crazy in them pants with no pads on.
You gotta get the thigh pads though, so you can do breakdown.
Yeah, right. Back in the day, we used to say crazy stuff. You remember that one joint? What we gonna eat? You remember that chant from Pee Wee? Quarterback. No. Pause. Whoa! They had us saying crazy stuff. You remember that?
It took you to say pause before I knew it was.
Yeah, that was wild, bro. I was only like 12. All right, so we're on the clock in one pick here.
Hey, Glock, in the building.
That's not it. That's not it.
That's it.
It's right there.
There it is.
What up, Glock? What up? Glock is in the building one time. It's been a minute. Maria said she wanted to see me in those pants. She did say that. No way y'all gonna catch me in them football pants with no pads unless I'm playing. Y'all know I still got it. I'm in the best shape of my life. All right, so we're on the clock now. We got 27 seconds. What are we looking for here? Are we trying to get the tight end or quarterback, or what you thinking?
I say we take Marquise Brown.
Oh, wide receiver.
Yeah. Add to the stack.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I ain't mad at that.
Nah, not at all. So now we got.
Okay, so the cap on wide receivers is done.
I didn't even look at. I didn't.
That's as many wide receivers as you can get in this league.
Okay, so really.
Yep. So now we're looking at we got tight end, quarterback, and then we'll have two other bench spots, which will probably have to be running back.
Running back.
That's weird. The receivers are kind of low in this league. How many we got? 1,
5,
2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers. Yeah. You saw in the other league, I drafted like 8 wide receivers. Yeah, I drafted 8 wide receivers. I was going crazy with that. So yeah, we'll go QB, tight end. We'll have to get another running back.
Yeah. We'll go running back, quarterback, tight end, defense, kicker.
Okay. So we got 14 picks. So I think, without further ado, we should bring up this Washington schedule one time and kind of start going over these games. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, we got content coming 3 times a week, possibly 4 times, maybe 5 times a week for real, because we got the Tuesday and Thursday show at 7 p.m. where Tuesdays, we do recaps of the games from the previous week. Thursday, we do previews of the games coming up. Sunday mornings, we do the parlay. Wednesday, I'm going to be adding another show that's going to be mostly just New York Giants based. And The Beard is also going to add a show. We haven't figured out if that's going to be Wednesday or another day out of the week where we're going to be doing a little bit more waiver wire, maybe some gambling, some other ideas that The Beard wanted to run by us too. So just, definitely stay locked in, man. Awthentic and The Beard, we're definitely going to be here, committed to this football season, going extra hand, man. It's going to be a fun season, man. Finally, we got an off season and we can really gauge this the way we want to. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. But without further ado, I say we get to these schedules one time, man. And we're going to start off with the Washington football team. The division winner at 7-9. Big hype coming out of Washington right now. Let's go back to this. And this is the Washington football team schedule. One of the hardest schedules, I think, in the NFL right now. I mean, just juggernaut after juggernaut after juggernaut when you get to the early middle section of this schedule. So let's start with the first game, man. We'll try to get through 1, maybe 2 games before we get back to the fantasy draft. We're 8 picks before we're on the clock, 6 picks before we're on the clock. People are probably on auto draft at this point, which I ain't even mad at. But let's start with that Chargers game, man, and give me an idea of how you feeling about that Chargers game and where you think Washington is going to finish out with that game.
Look, so let me preface everything by saying that for those of you that do know me, I'm a fairly reasonable Washington football team fan. So I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to win the Super Bowl, but like Awthentic said, we are definitely facing one of the toughest schedules, not just in recent Washington football, history, but in the entire NFL this season. We face, I'm pretty sure, 7 of the top 10 quarterbacks in the National Football League we are facing this year. So, you know, a lot of this is the first time the national media has had a lot of, you know, positive things to say about the Washington football team. And the defense is going to carry this team. And a lot of people, you know, think that this can be a top, you know, 3 defense in the entire league. But they're going to be tested. And it starts in week 1 against Justin Herbert. You know, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. You know, they got Jared Cook playing tight end right now. They also got the other dude who not a lot of people talk about, Parnham, who's like 7'2" playing tight end. Like, it's insane. And then the Chargers defense, you know, Bosa, Ingram. So they're gonna have their hands full. But I believe that out the gate, you know, I just have to, you know, at home, NFC East champion banner being raised, you know,
I like
those sort of situations where I just think that the game is so important to hit the season in the right direction that I'm going to go ahead and say that Washington wins this first game. So we're going to start out 1-0.
1-0, you think? I think a lot of what you said is definitely valid for sure. I think what's going to really hurt you guys is the health of Curtis Samuel. You know, the question mark right there. You know, the offense is still a bit sketchy. I know we got Fitzpatrick, you know, involved in the whole thing and whatnot, and he's a gamer for sure. But I'm a little bit worried about him, and I think that the Chargers team is very improved. The offense was never the problem last year with the Chargers. Their offensive line struggled. They had the last ranked offensive line in the league at 32, but their offense was ranked 9th. So that goes to show you that, you know, when you got a quarterback and some weapons, it can balance out the problems that you have on the offensive line. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Chargers in that game, and Washington start off 0-1. And let's get this pick in real quick. We wanted to go running back here, right?
Michael Carter.
Michael Carter. I'm with you on that. I took the Fournette one. I'll give you the Michael Carter one. That's cool. And how many more picks? So we got 8 picks before we're back on the clock. I bet a lot of people are auto-drafting, so this should fly by pretty quickly here. Yeah, man, so I just think Herbert, a lot of quarterbacks do have a sophomore slump. You know, we saw that happen with a ton of quarterbacks, and New York Giants know all about that with Daniel Jones. You know, the first season was pretty solid. The second year was pretty much a slump. You know, but when you combine the first 2 years of Daniel Jones, I think it's a pretty good body of work for him. But Herbert, I think he's a guy who's not going to miss a beat. He's going to come into this season ready to go.
And you mentioned the Curtis Samuel thing. The good thing is that we kind of, with De'Ami Brown, you know, we kind of struck a little bit of late round gold with De'Ami Brown and the rookie wide receiver.
So every time I say that, wide receiver like you say that rookie wide receiver. Shout out my man The Beard one time.
Think of that clip. But, you know, I think that it's important that we have that. You know, the way that the preseason ended on such a bad note for Washington, people were worried about depth. But I personally think that this is one of the deeper teams that Washington has put on the field in a long time, except for, you know, a few positions. Linebacker being one of them, but we'll talk about that later. But I'm just saying that with De'Ami Brown, it gives us a little bit of flexibility if Samuel is not 100% to go out the gate. So Cam Sims also, who came on strong at the end of last season, and we picked up Adam Humphries in the offseason, who has played with Fitzpatrick before. So there's no excuses for the Washington football team. So I think it's good to have a test like the Chargers in the first week. So I got them going 1-0. I think it has them going 0-1. And, you know, it's week 2, and everybody knows already what week 2 is.
Oh yeah, we know what's going down in week 2. I mean, this is a big game. And I do agree with you what you were saying about the game versus the Chargers. It's going to be a very telling game to let you know where you guys stand, one, without a healthy Curtis Samuel, and, you know, just entering this season with a couple of guys banged up. You got Antonio Gibson, who was banged up in the late portion of last season as well, so we're hoping he can get back to being A1 and to get a good eye on the quarterback situation. I'm a believer that Taylor Heineke is going to get the start at some point in this season with the Washington football team. He showed you in the playoffs that he's a gamer. I think he's baby Fitzpatrick. He's a Fitzpatrick, but he's the younger version. A little bit more mobile, might have a little bit more zip on his arm. I'm getting some crazy glitch right now on my screen. That looks really weird. But yeah, I do think we're going to see him, and I think it'll be a good time to really assess the quarterback situation in Washington. One game's just one game, but yeah. Going into week 2, I think the tough part here is that both these teams are going to struggle with the same thing. The Giants are coming into a season where, we got the weapons for Danny. We got them, but we don't know if they're going to be healthy. Galladay just getting back to practice. Saquon Barkley just getting back to practice. You know, we haven't even seen Ross in the preseason. Kadarius Toney's been pretty much MIA throughout this whole offseason. Defensively, we know what the Giants are going to bring to the table, but with the big money signing with Adoree Jackson ends up getting hurt too, you know, with the ankle injury. So I think there's just a lot of question marks. So week 2 is by week 2, we're going to know what's good. We're really going to know what's good. The Giants are going to come in there. Hopefully we're healthy. And hopefully this offense is showing a little bit of the potential that, you know, we know they can have with all these weapons on the field. And with that one, before I say who I'm going to pick on that game, let's go back to the fantasy draft one time. We are on the clock with 45 seconds left. And we're looking to get another running back here, we think?
Yeah, we got another running back, or we go backup tight end or backup quarterback.
Let me just
I like Tyler Higbee.
Ooh, I like Tyler Higbee. He's still out there?
Yeah.
I'm cool with Tyler Higbee.
All right, let's go Tyler Higbee.
I'm cool. And there you go. Tight ends off the board. 13
so now
more
we
picks
just
before
need
we get
a
back.
backup quarterback, a running back, and a defense and kicker. So
Yep.
I'm assuming, you know, Awthentik's going to pick the Giants to beat Washington in week 2. I'm going to go with Washington, obviously. Because, you know, I usually go back and forth when it comes to NFC East games, home and away, as far as predicting this early schedule wins and losses. So I'm going to go Washington. So that puts Washington at 2-0 in my books. And
see, I think
0-2.
that with the Giants and Washington this year, to me, these are the two premier teams. You know, we got Dak Prescott's coming back, and that's definitely going to help the Cowboys out in their offense for sure. Now, I think that'll also help out their running game as well. But this game is telling. I think that the team that's more healthy is going to win this game. I think that if both teams were healthy, I got the Giants winning. This game's going to be in Washington, so that does give you a leverage. I did pick y'all to lose this one early. I think that the Giants can capitalize on some of the early season woes that Washington will have. But if you guys come out and beat the Chargers, it's going to change my pick here. But I got us splitting. I'm going to go ahead and say this is tough. I'm going to go ahead and say that we get the win there, and you guys fall to 0-2.
Okay. Week 3. This is the second quarterback of the top tier quarterbacks that Washington is going to face this season, and it is also an away game, so we will be going to Buffalo to see the Bills Mafia. At this point in the game, you know, I'm going to pick Washington to lose this game, okay, realistically.
Yeah.
Now, there is a good chance if Buffalo's run game is still in the struggle mode that it was in last season, and Washington can get to Josh Allen. And a lot of that, it comes to contain when you're playing quarterbacks like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, you know, because if you're not filling your gaps and you're not playing the contain, then those quarterbacks are going to kill you either with their feet or by making throws outside of the pocket. So those sort of situations, that's going to be a big on the defense in that game.
Which Josh Allen is really good at. He's good at getting out the pocket and making throws.
Exactly.
And also making quick decisions to just take off and run. I agree with you on that. If your defensive ends can contain, it'll definitely help. And your secondary is going to have to definitely play over the top and be able to stop Stephon Diggs. Gabriel Davis, man, can't forget about him. He's a problem as well at wide receiver. He made a couple big catches. He had a couple big drops in the playoffs too, but he made some big catches. I'm going to go Buffalo there too. But I do think it's a game that of the juggernauts that I see on your schedule, Buffalo being one of them, I think that that's the one that, like, you could possibly win it. But if I had to put some good money on it, I'm going to say that the Bills win that by a two-possession game.
Yeah. So after that is another road game. So back-to-back road games. You know,
Joel made a really good point there too, that Washington will be 10 days rest after that game. That is a good point. I think that'll help their chances of getting a W there.
For sure. And then, you know what's crazy is that we don't – I wonder if this is always true, but we'd only play back-to-back – we play back-to-back away games, never more than 2 games away. I wonder if that's always like that.
For most teams, I think there was one team starting their season off with 3 road games. Maybe it was 2 road games. I might be mistaken on that.
So Atlanta's going to be a tough game. I think Atlanta is a team that's a little bit difficult to get a complete read on because.
Okay, real briefly before we go into Atlanta, we're back on the clock here one time. What are we looking for here? Another running back?
Yeah,
or quarterback.
Or a quarterback. So I like Ramondre Stevenson as another running back.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
Isn't Damian Harris over there?
Damian Harris, yeah.
James White. It's so tough taking New England running backs. I don't know if I like that. You committed to that. Got 30 seconds.
Well, we can go to our backup quarterback now.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Matt Ryan, but I do think he's going to put up numbers. But, without Julio Jones over there, I'm a little worried about him.
Who else we got as quarterbacks?
Trey Lance, Trevor. You got Daniel Jones. Kirk Cousins going to put up some numbers. He's got a great wide receiver core. I wouldn't be mad going Kirk.
Yeah. Who else is underneath him?
5 seconds.
Go Kirk. I hate that.
Yeah, I know. Gotcha. Shout out Kirk Cousins.
You like that? Oh, look who's here.
Hey,
Mark
what up, Mark?
Wachowski.
We just did a fantasy draft with Mark one time. Mark about to move real close to the studio, too, man. I'm going to see a lot more of you, bro, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the tailgate party we're going to be doing week 2, New York Giants at Washington football team. It's going to be real fun, man.
Is it crazy to think Atlanta and Philly will be at the bottom of the NFL this year? It's not crazy to think it. I think that's the cute pick right now is for, Philly to be like this god-awful football team. And we'll touch on that in a little bit later, but it's not crazy to think about that. Yeah, I know, Mark, we took Kirk Cousins. But.
Yeah, right. I think that the Falcons have a better chance to be decent than Philadelphia does. The Falcons lost a lot of close games last year, and their defense was a major problem. I don't know if you remember, like the first 8 games, they were just in shootouts, putting up 30s and losing games and stuff like that. I think they'll be much improved, even though they lost Julio Jones, but they played a lot of last season without him anyway. The addition of Kyle Pitts, that should help out. I don't know what kind of impact he'll make immediately, but that should definitely help out. Atlanta's a tough one.
It is. They could be a lot better than what people are anticipating them to be, but they could also be that same sort of mediocre 500-ish team.
Right. Or even under that,
Yeah,
4
but
or 5
Washington
wins
could be
type
that
team.
too.
Yeah, any of these teams could be that in the NFC East, I feel like.
Exactly. So I look, Wales, to answer Wales' questions, I absolutely 100% think that Kyle Pitts is going to tear it up in the NFL. I think he is going to be a bona fide superstar in this league.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit off the air too. The one thing going against Kyle Pitts, I love the tape. Everything about him, he seems like a great player. But the one thing going against him is just the success of tight ends in the first round. Look at the last 10 years and look at all the tight ends that have been drafted in the first round. You really got Eric Ebron and T.J. Hawkinson as some of the only guys who have produced, on the field. He's in a great situation though. With Matt Ryan being a transition quarterback right now, with maybe just a couple years left in his career, he's going to learn a lot from Matt Ryan. And then with I wanted to say Gage, but with Calvin Ridley, moving to number 1. Calvin Ridley's a solid wide receiver. So I think it's going to open up a lot for Kyle Pitts, and he might be able to show out. But we'll see, man. The NFL is a whole different beast than college football is. I kind of compared it to what Evan Ingram was in the first round. Evan Ingram's supposed to be that guy for us, and he kind of hasn't. Not even kind of. He just hasn't been that guy. So I just think that history and time is going against Kyle Pitts. But he is the highest. You were telling me he's the highest tight end drafted. We think. In the NFL history, so maybe he's worth every penny. We'll see.
Yeah, so
and Waterfly, you can definitely pull up to the tailgate, brother. Definitely. We're going to be in Green Lot E. We're going to be turning up crazy. We've been doing this now for about 10 years straight, so definitely pull up on us if you're out here.
I'm going to go with a W for Washington against Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm going to give you that one too. I think that your defense is going to be a little bit too much for them in that game. I think it'll be middle scoring-wise. I think you guys will probably beat them by a touchdown, 24-17 kind of vibe or something.
It's man, I can't wait to see the product on the field. That's for certain.
Oh, man, that first game is going to be so amazing. That first red zone, that first red zone. I can't wait for that first red zone.
Can't wait. So we're on the clock right now.
We are on the clock.
And we need a running back, right?
Yeah, can't get Giovanni.
Okay, so who else is underneath Hyde?
Let's go running back. 44 seconds. Man, Mark
I think
Ingram,
I
it's
like
tough.
Ramondre Stevenson. That's
Okay.
that's who I like.
At this
yeah.
spot, I'm not mad. I'm glad he's still there, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go Ramondre Stevenson. That's cool. And that's
And
our
then
last running
kicker
back.
in defense.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, so up, Mike Ditka was the last rookie tight end to go over 1,000 yards, 1961.
Wow. Thank you for that, Mark. That's a great statistic right there, man. Mike Ditka. Shout out to Mike Ditka and the Bears.
Yeah, I actually made a bet with Awthentik earlier today.
Oh,
that
the
Kyle
$20
Pitts-
bet.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts will go over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns this year.
You did say that. And that's high touchdowns, high yards for a tight end for sure. But I think he's capable of doing it, just needs the opportunity. And hopefully he's ready to go, just hopefully he's ready to just – a lot of people need a couple years in the NFL to get right, and hopefully that's not the case with him. You know what I'm saying?
So next game on the schedule for the Washington football team is going to be a home game against the New Orleans Saints. Now, this is the Saints in the Falcons game are one of those. Both of those games could go either way.
You see Nate Talks football said
Yeah,
no
chance. Hey, I don't know if our channel has the feature yet or not. I
17
see it on some of these other channels where there's a clip option on YouTube. So if we have a clip option, clip this one and put it in the vault so that we can revisit this one. In week 17.
Yeah, we definitely we got Awthentik. We got the clip option for damn.
So yeah, another really tough game with the New Orleans Saints. I'm a big Jameis guy. I'm pretty sure, as far as him getting this opportunity as a starter, I'm pretty sure Awthentik feels a similar way. That it's the best decision for the Saints to go with Jameis Winston as opposed to Taysom Hill. It gives them a better option. With Taysom Hill. I'm pretty sure Michael Thomas won't be back at this juncture in the season quite yet. Also, Marquez Callaway is I think he's gonna have a coming out party this year with Jameis Winston. But
I think Jameis Winston's going to turn up this year. People been down on Jameis Winston. I know he had a lot of turnovers and whatnot. Oh, so what's up with the Irish? Did they take the lead? Hey. Y'all know the Beard's a big Notre Dame fan. Huge Notre Dame
big
fan.
Notre Dame fan. So, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting, situation there in New Orleans. But they still have Kamara. They still have Sean Payton. That defense is a lot better. A lot of times people forget about that Saints defense making that jump last year. The Saints defense kept them in a lot of games.
Yes, they definitely did, man. And I know they lost Janoris Jenkins, which a lot of people might not think is a big deal. But he really outplayed. Who's on the other side of the corner over there? They got a stud at corner over there. I can't remember his name right now.
Lattimore?
Can't remember who it is. Is it Lattimore? Yeah, because he was supposed to be the A1 corner over there, and Janoris Jenkins was doing some damage. But then PFF kind of broke some things down and said Janoris Jenkins was looking like poop. But you never know. I mean, I do think that defense is going to show up. I think it's a great idea to start Jameis Winston at quarterback because then you get to use Taysom Hill for what he really is, a wide receiver, tight end, running back, fullback / whatever. You can put him on the offensive line if you want to. He can play quarterback. He can do a lot of different things. But if he is at quarterback for every snap, then I think you're kind of limiting using him as like that Swiss Army knife that Sean Payton has figured out with him. Taysom Hill is just a football player. I love that about him. There's no Cordell Stewarts in the NFL anymore, and Taysom Hill is pretty much a modern-day Slash. I think you guys take the L in that game. Even though it's a home game for you guys, I think you guys take an L in that game. I think the Saints are going to be very motivated for that too.
I can see it possible, but I'm gonna put W down for that one.
Oh, man, we're on the clock with 10 seconds left. Patriots, Giants defense, Dolphins defense.
Dolphins.
Good call. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give the W for them there. Going into the next week is a home game against the best offense in the National Football League, the Kansas City Chiefs. That's gonna be an interesting matchup because if Washington's defense, lives up to the hype, that could be a potential number one offense versus number one defense in the National Football League. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup on paper, possibly. But in reality, I can't pick my team to beat the best team, in one of the best teams in the NFL until I see otherwise. When we get down to, one of our Tuesday or Thursday shows during that week, things could be completely different. But right now, I got to mark that down as a loss.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Kansas City, that offense is going to be a little bit too high-powered. And they're the kind of team that can lose a couple of regular season games. I've been seeing a lot of people on TV talking about Kansas City could probably go undefeated. Crazy-ass Nick Wright being one of them. Nick Wright said that Antonio Gibson is a replaceable running back and Terry McLaurin is barely a good wide receiver.
Yeah.
Dog, I don't know what he's smoking. Somebody said he's smoking shrooms. I thought that was funny.
Hey, look.
Joel says, how we taking the Dolphins over the Giants defense, which I'm kind of with you. I wanted the Giants defense there too, but I got to let the beard go there. I don't want my pride
Dolphins
to kind of get in the way.
Dolphins got a great defense. They have two really good corners, and you saw what their defense did last year. They forced turnovers. Turnovers get you points. But, Matt, you have no idea. The first thing Awthentik said to me this afternoon when we got on just to talk was, man, I don't know, man. Y'all might start 1-7.
I did say that. I said like 1-7, 2-6. Man, that schedule is brutal. Like, yo, look, you can look at these next string of games coming up here, man.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, man.
It does get a little crazy.
I'm queuing up Graham Gano as our kicker since we didn't get Giants defense.
That's cool. And that completes it, right?
And yeah, we can just get up off that. On the clock, homie's name is Cologne Over Dirt. That's funny because a lot of people be doing that. They be funky, ain't even take a shower and just spray the cologne on top. Like, man, I'll be good. Nah, B, you get off in the spot, you sweating a little bit, you start reeking. You know what it is, man. So, yeah, both of us got Kansas City as an L, right?
Yeah.
And did you change your mind on the Saints, or is that an L for you too?
No. I got us down for a W on the Saints.
You got a W for the Saints.
Yep.
Yeah, Matt's right about that. Yeah, I'm doing them dirty for now. I need the proof, man. I got to see Ryan Fitzpatrick, man.
Yeah.
When is the last time Ryan Fitzpatrick was like a starter going into the season? And was that with Miami a couple years ago? Because I know with Tua there last year, he wasn't a starter until things started getting a little crazy, right?
Well, he was the starter last year to the start.
Oh, he was. So Tua didn't get the day one start.
No.
Got you.
No. And then I think his last start was either the Texans or the Jets.
That boy played for about half the league. 15 teams or something crazy like that, right?
Something crazy. And look, this is a tough stretch because now we going on the road to Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra.
Yeah. L.
Yeah, we're gonna just throw that out there. It's a loss.
Big L. So
the next
game,
now,
where you got y'all at right now with those back-to-back L's?
Right now, I got us at 1-2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, 4-3 after the Packers game.
That's crazy. I got y'all at 1-6 right now.
Yeah.
Which I do think that there's a couple other games out there. What up, Sebastian? Sockpot said, man, how you living? Hope everything's good, brother. I do think you got a couple winnable games out there too, because you could beat the Giants, you could beat the Chargers possibly too. If let's say you start slow and you lose to the Chargers and the Giants, you might be able to shock the Saints. So I'm looking at like 2-5, 1-6 ish around this time. Green Bay L. So we go to the Broncos game here. Broncos is an interesting matchup, man. With Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback, I don't know what they're going to do. Jerry Jeudy didn't shine last year, and Noah Fant seemed to be the guy over there that was getting, most of the receptions from the tight end position. But I think that could change with Teddy Bridgewater, more of a traditional drop back kind of guy who can kind of, get going with his legs. He scored some touchdowns with his legs last year in Carolina.
And it's a road game.
It is a road game, but I mean, how you seeing that? You think I like the defensive matchup. I think y'all defenses are pretty even in this game. It's the offense I think that's going to be the difference maker in this game for sure.
This was definitely one of the ones that I was kind of wavering back and forth, similar to the Saints game and the Chargers game. But I'm gonna put a W down for this game. I think we're gonna be able to take this game on the road against the Broncos. But that's one of those games that's a toss up for me. So I'm kind of leaning on the side of we've made some adjustments as a team.
Yeah.
Our defense is really good. So I'm kind of using those to, outweigh some of these waiver games, and I'm going to put down a W for the Denver Broncos. But the next game at
I
home.
like what Monique said there, too. She says 4 of the first 6 opponents have a lot of unknowns, so you got to judge based on the knowns. Yeah. I mean, things could totally change by week 3, week 4. We never really know. Big Blue in the Bronx says Curtis Samuel homecoming. Yeah, and that could make your offense completely turn up. Let's not forget about Curtis Samuel. I want to say he had 100 catches last year.
Yeah,
dude is a slot maniac.
We're gonna see how healthy that hamstring is.
But I do give you the dub against Denver. I think that Denver's the kind of team that if they're going to surprise somebody to be in the first 5 games, maybe. But once teams start catching their stride, I think that Washington's the better team there.
The next game, though, yeah, that's for sure.
That's facts, man. That's facts.
I think COVID's going to be a bigger issue this year than it was last year, because now, like, people are like, it's a lot looser than it was last year. So, like, it could be worse this year for, people missing action.
Yeah,
but
I like what Max said too about surprise wins and whatnot against teams like KC or Green Bay, because somebody's got to surprise them and beat them. So it could be Washington. We can't forget, like, Philly surprised the Saints last year when they started Jalen Hurts, and everybody thought, like, yo, that was going to be a complete blowout. And Jalen Hurts comes out running the ball all over the place, and they lead that game with a victory. So, that's why they play the games, man. And any given Sunday, a team can take over. You never know.
Sunday, for sure. But any given Sunday, except for Sunday when you're playing Tampa Bay at home. That's an interesting game when I really think about it, because it's like
playoff rematch.
Who's playing quarterback at this point in the season, depending upon how the seasons have gone so far.
I know, 9th game.
But I mean, if I'm gonna have the same theory against the Kansas City Chiefs, I have to have that same theory against Tampa Bay at this point in making predictions, and I'm gonna say that we're gonna lose that game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think you take an L there. Tampa Bay comes out last year not clicking on all cylinders right off the bat, but the way that they finished the last 3 quarters of the season, after that loss to the Saints, I mean, they really just turned up and then just beat teams that beat them in the regular season, the Saints included in that. And I think now they're bringing back a full roster of starters. I want to say every starter on the Bucs is coming back. So, that team should be completely gelled. Tom Brady over there playing GM, bringing in cats and all that. Antonio Brown, Fournette coming through. I just think that they're going to be the better team, especially by week 10. This is when teams are going to be starting to get ready to focus on the playoffs here and make their runs. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Bucs in that game, and I think that's going to be a 3-score, 2 at least, probably a 3-score game. I think the Bucs handle Washington in that game.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to really say. That's never happened before, right? No, I'm pretty sure I keep saying this, but I'm pretty sure that that's the case, is that no Super Bowl winning team in the free agency era has ever brought back all
their starters.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's kind of insane. And now they have a complete offseason. It's just a little intense.
Yeah,
and then,
second year in the offense, even though I know a lot of that offense is Tom Brady. I love how, like, when you see Arians in the post-game conferences, and anytime he's being interviewed, he's just like, man, those dudes listen to Tom Brady more than they listen to me. It's like, I can tell them 10 times. They don't get it till the 10th time. Tom Brady just tell them 1 time. That's the GOAT, man. And you know them little stares Tom Brady was giving people when they messed up. When he get back to the bench, he be looking at you like, hey, bruh, you better get it together.
Yeah.
You better get it together.
I'm got them Tom Brady eyes right now.
That's the Tom Brady eyes. That's why nobody be dapping him up when he be like this on the sideline. Nobody want to dap him up because they're like, yo, he's like a mean dad.
Yeah, Sebastian, that's a Terry McLaurin autographed full-size helmet. So,
oh yeah, that's lit.
Sick piece.
That's lit.
Next game, there's a lot of storylines in this schedule. I'm gonna try and pick up the pace a little bit. We're going on the road. Ron Rivera back to Carolina. Curtis Samuel back to Carolina. It's an interesting game, but this is gonna be one of those games based upon how a lot of those previous games had happened. That's gonna be a must win for Washington. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Washington for the W on that one.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Carolina could shock some people. I do think that Sam Darnold could do some things. And, new coach, he that could go one of two ways. I mean, he could struggle or he could have some kind of revival to his career. CMC is over there. We can't forget about that. And if he's healthy, he's always a problem. He can single-handedly win you a game. But I agree with you. I do think that Washington is going to be too much defensively for them. And I think by that point, you should see your full offense in full effect, with the best players on the field from the coach's perspective, starting from the quarterback position. Because if Ryan Fitzpatrick is not it in the first 6 or 7 games, I think that they'll make the move and bring in Taylor Heineke to see what he got, because we kind of know what Heineke can do.
Joseph Bobby wants to know if you think him and Kid Blue look alike.
Nah. I don't think so. Nah. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not really.
And this Washington schedule is not going to get any easier, because then
wait till
we
you
go
see
back.
Joseph Bobby. Bobby's got a head of hair like, dog, Ben Affleck vibes, dog. That joint. That boy.
Oh man, we going back home to face Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, I actually had this game as a win and then crossed it out and put a L. So
yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
probably
put down
smart.
a loss for Seattle.
Yeah.
And then we go on the road to Vegas. I'd never been to Vegas before in my life.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm getting a little bit of chops from your audio, just a little bit, nothing too crazy, but just a little bit of static. We'll probably have to up the buffer when we finish up with this stream, just a little bit. But it's doing pretty decent.
Yeah, but going to Vegas, that's gonna be an interesting game. Those matchup, it's gonna be crazy to see what Raider Nation is gonna be like in Vegas, because Raider Nation in Los Angeles and in Oakland back in the day, you had the black hole.
Yep.
It was crazy. So it'll be interesting to see if that sort of atmosphere transfers over to Vegas, or if Vegas is just going to be like this sort of, party central sort of situation where it's just going to be like a bunch of transplants, people visiting, coming in and out, but the stadium looks crazy. It's going to be an interesting game. But I'm going to go ahead and mark down a W for Washington in Vegas.
I kind of like that pick. I'm a little 50-50 on this Raiders game. This is going to be a tough one. The Raiders are a team that I think could be much improved. Let's help out Nate Talks Football. He says he's drafting in 15 minutes. Who should he take with the number 4 pick?
Number 4 pick?
And let's see what happens if you minimize Ableton Live, if it's not already.
It's minimized.
Okay, sounds good. 4 pick, I'd go, you're looking at CMC, Cook probably at number 2. 3, they might take Henry, maybe.
Or Kamara.
Yeah. So I take what's left. I take Henry or I take Kamara.
Yeah. Maybe even Saquon.
Yeah, it might be a little early for Saquon, but the Giants fan, we are definitely believers, like straight up. So if you got that faith, take Saquon, but you never know, man. They're going to ease him back into this flow of this offense, I feel like. So, first 3-4 games might be very chill. We'll see though. But as far as this Raiders game goes here, I'm going to stick with my original pick. The Raiders play the Giants as well. I don't know if they play all the other teams in the NFC East. I can't remember. We'll see when we pull them up. But I don't think you guys win that game. I think that Gruden's going to have them striding by week 13. His problem has been football late. November football, December football. They usually fall off. If you remember, the Raiders were kind of in the mix early on.
Yeah.
And man, Derek Carr, bro. Let me pull this up real quick. I posted this on Twitter the other day about Derek Carr, saying that if Daniel Jones could beat Derek Carr, the Giants are going to kill people this year. And if you look at Derek Carr's statistics, man, like, he's really put up some good stats. I wish I could pull him up on the screen. But in his last 2 seasons, the dude's looking at 48 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. But no one's ever going to put Derek Carr in a top anything quarterback situation. But to me, those numbers are really good. This dude is pushing 70% completion percentage as a quarterback, 4,000 yards both seasons from 2020 and 2019 to go along with 48 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. Any fan would take that on their team right now as an A1 quarterback.
there was a point last year when Derek Carr was in the conversation for Dark Horse MVP.
For you. I remember when you said that. We laughed at you. We laughed at you. I do remember that. We all laughed at you. And I just think people don't give Derek Carr his credit, man. Like, the dude is a really solid quarterback. His completion percentage has been over 58 the whole time since he came in as a rookie. From his sophomore year, he's been 60-plus the whole way through. 4,000 yards in the last 3 seasons. In 3 seasons, man, you're looking at 27 interceptions and 67 touchdowns. Bro, what do we talk about all the time? 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. He's the example of 3-1 on a bad team, which is very rare. And his wide receivers were not going off last year. You had the dude, Nelson Aguilar, who was brick hands for a second. Derek Carr was making him look really good. And then Henry Ruggs didn't have a great rookie season, you know? So I just think Derek Carr needs a little bit more props from fans and from people who watch football around the league, along with Matthew Stafford. Colin Cowherd was talking about Matthew Stafford's going to be in a lot of people's top 10s this year just off the strength, but his numbers aren't going to change much. Matthew Stafford has always put up great numbers with a multitude of wide receivers over there. So I think that by week 13, even though the Raiders have been known with Gruden to kind of fall off around that time, he's going to be aware of that, and those games are going to be very important for them. It's at Las Vegas, so I'm going to take the Raiders in that game. But I could see why you would pick Washington to get a W there too, because I do think that that's a game that they can win.
And then we go back home to face Dallas Cowboys, rivalry week. Cowboys, Washington, at home. I'm taking Washington. This is, I mean, you know.
This is kind of crazy how they did y'all. They did this with us last year with Philly. You play Dallas, then you got one game, and then right back to play Dallas again. Why? That's just silly. Like, whoever's cooking up these schedules.
Look how that goes. Dallas, Philly, Dallas, Philly.
Who did that? Like, that's just silly. Like, why are we doing that? You know, I know y'all are trying to make the end of the season very interesting and the race for the playoffs and all that, but come on, Dallas, Philly, that's really not creative. Did a kid make this? Did like a first grader make this schedule? Like, this makes no sense. And then to top it off, you end the season with New York. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3. You're ending your season with 5 divisional games. Who did that, yo? Who did that, man?
I mean, they've been trying to push that narrative of more, you know, of the divisional games at the end of the season, but it's just the one-off. Like, they should have at least done it like 3 different ones instead of, you know, 2 of the same and then 2 of the same. It's just, and maybe throwing a non-divisional one inside of there.
Nate Talks Football said, hey, Awthentik, don't insult us kids. Nah, that's why I said a first grader, bro. Like, this is first grade behavior. Like, oh, I forgot. They have to play the division teams. Oh, well, just put them all back to back. Cowboys, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles. What? Who's thinking of this? This makes no sense. It makes no sense, yo.
So I'm gonna give us the win.
Y'all are an exception to the kid vibe too. Y'all ain't kids no more. Y'all are young men. You know, the Joseph Balbys of the world, the Nate Talks Footballs, the big play slays. I know y'all like 10th graders, 9th graders. Y'all in high school. Y'all talking to girls and all that. Y'all ain't kids. You know what I'm saying? So I can't give you the benefit of the doubt on that one. Y'all talking to girls now. You talking to girls. You about to be a man.
Y'all getting ready for homecoming.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, Wild and Plug. Yes, sir. We definitely finally back, man. We took the off season off, man. You know, had to have a little bit of anticipation. You know what I mean? But definitely glad to be back. Our first stream, kind of just doing some testing. So, you know, I can go back over there to the Beard's crib and check out what's going on with things and, you know, see how this stuff runs for a long-term kind of vibe here. But, yeah, just breaking down these schedules. So you taking Dallas at the first one for the home game. I'll give you that one. Yeah, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that W.
Then we go into Philly. I think we're sweeping Philly. So Philly on the road. I'm taking that as a W.
Yeah. Until somebody can, you know, prove me otherwise, I think Philly's going to be a pretty bad team with a quarterback who I think is capable of getting it done, but is going to struggle. Unless we see some just magic from Devontae. If Devontae Smith can just be that guy coming out the gate and just be a number 1 guy, with Hurts, that might be a problem, you know, because Hurts is the kind of guy that can evade pressure, get out the pocket, and make moves. Last year, you saw him get out the pocket and run. hoping that he has a guy, if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, that's down the field to be able to take some safeties down there with him. You know, the Eagles could maybe surprise some people, but I'm going to take Washington in this game too. You know, me and the Beard was talking about this a couple of days ago. I was like, yo, let's name all the players you know on the Eagles roster. Man, I couldn't get past like 6. It was bad, bro. It was bad, especially when it got to the defensive side of the ball, which I know they played better defense last year. They were up around top 5 in sacks. But they were also like top 5 in sacks taken, with Carson Wentz just getting killed all season long. So I don't know. Offensively, I don't think they've made enough improvement to be able to really compete in this division. So I'm gonna go with Washington taking that first game as well. And that, even though that one is at Philly, maybe I might want to flip flop these. Yeah. Nah, I'll say y'all take that one. I'll say y'all take that game.
So then we go back to Dallas, and at that point, you know, I'm giving home and homes for some of these. So I'm gonna go for an L when we head to Dallas.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that. The NFC East rivals. It'll be a good matchup, I think, every time. I think all the NFC East matchups are going to be pretty good matchups. I'd say maybe one game with the Philadelphia Eagles against one of these NFC East opponents. You know, maybe the Giants just blow them out, or maybe Washington just blows them out, or Dallas blows them out. But outside of that, I got division splits pretty much across the board, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm in total agreement with you on that one there.
And then Philly on the road. I have a sweeping Philly this year. So,
yeah, I give Philly that one. I think that, like, when they learn from y'all a little bit in Week 15, they'll come back and beat y'all in Washington. I think it's not the traditional way to think about it. You would think that the home team advantage would kind of play out, especially in the NFC's rival. I just think that one's going to be a little bit flip-flop. The Eagles will kind of be like leaning into what they'll be as a team next year. We'll really know what we're going to get out of that wide receiver core. So surprised they cut Travis Fulgham. I don't know if they brought him back.
Yeah.
But they cut him, and he was like their number one wide receiver, producing the most yards.
He did fall off drastically
but
after that.
You know why he fell off, right? Alshon Jeffrey came back from the injury week 7 or week 8, and they decided to implement him in the lineup. So Travis Fulgham wasn't getting no targets.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought that was a big mistake. But Peterson was doing crazy stuff over there with the Eagles. You know, I think that upper management was doing something. And, you know, there was some confirmation in that with the Nate Sudfeld starting in the fourth quarter when he went on Rich Eisen's podcast. He pretty much admitted to saying, yeah, they told me I had to play him in the fourth. So there's that. I don't know. There was a bunch of strange things going on with Philly last year. So Travis Fulgham's benching was definitely one of them. Greg Ward coming back as one of the wide receivers. I think he'll be able to help that passing game a little bit. But, it's all on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. I think he's going to have to ball out for that team to be anywhere above garbage. I don't like calling stuff garbage, music or football teams, but it's going to have to be that.
They say he's back on the practice.
That's good. That's good because he's a player, man. Travis Fulgham has proven he should be on a roster in this league for sure. And Philly, you'd be a fool to let him go.
Now, this last game of the season in New York, right? I originally had this game. So I left this game blank when I was going through my schedules, and then I went and did the Giants schedule. And then when I looked at where I had the Giants, I was like, okay, so the Giants, if they win this game, it won't knock Washington out of the playoffs. So I'll give the Giants the last win of the season, in New York. So I put that down as an L for Washington because it wouldn't affect us winning the division.
It's funny you flip-flopped on that game. I did the same thing. I had us winning that game too and sweeping y'all again, but I just think the odds are a little bit against us. Don't forget the Giants have won 5 straight games against Washington. And I think we'll make it 6 in week 2, but I think the Giants' situation by the time we get to the last game of the season, y'all are going to be in more dire need for that W. And I think that Washington will come into New York and beat us. The Giants have not been a great team at home the last couple of years either. We haven't been a great team, period, the last couple of years, but especially at home. I'm going to give Washington football team a W for the last game of the season, as I feel you guys will probably be trying to fight for a wild card position in the playoffs.
All right. Well, so that I do. Should I go ahead and tell you what that puts my Washington football team at for the season?
Yeah, let's get it, man. So what do you got your final record at for Washington football team, and I'll give you mine when you're done with that.
I have the Washington football team ending the 2021 NFL season with a regular season record of 10 wins and 7 losses.
Man, when you first told me that off air, I damn near
I
lost
wish
my
I could have
mind.
had that.
We needed that recorded. I said 10 and 7. Chat, y'all let me know what's up one time, what y'all thinking about that prediction with the Washington football team finishing out 10 and 7. Last time the Washington football team won 10 games was when RG3 was at the quarterback. And you told me before this, off air as well, that the last time they won 11 games was when?
1993, I think.
1943.
93.
Yeah, so he's very optimistic. I was like that last year with the Giants. I predicted the Giants to go like 9-7 or 10-6 last season, and we was way off that mark. So yeah, you know, for me, what did I have y'all at? Y'all gonna hate me on this one. I want to change one game here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got the Washington football team finishing 6 and 11. 7, 8, 9, 10.
Say it one more time for the Giants fans in the back.
I got the Washington football team finishing 6 and 11. Giants Nation in the building one time. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is, man.
So there's quite the difference between the Beard and Awthentik on the Washington.
Definitely. I want to see. Okay, so the chat says 10 and 7 feels right. Nate talks football. 10 and 7 feels right. Big Blue in the Bronx says 8 and 9 for the Washington football team. Tony Rizzo says 7 wins tops. Simon says that's brutal, Awthentik. I mean, yo, you know, I'm just keeping it real, man. I think the Washington football team like won a lot of fluke games last year. It wasn't even a lot. It was 7 wins. So to see them get a new quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick and think that that's going to just jump up 3 more wins with a way more difficult schedule, I just can't see it, man. Any other predictions there? King Tone says 9 and 8. Simon
Joel,
says 9 and 8.
You're supposed to have love for Fitzpatrick, man. Beard gang.
Beard gang in the building one time, yo. Week 18 decides the East, Joseph Balby says. I disagree with you there. We'll see, though. I won't be mad at that. You know, we talked about it, man. When we started last season, we were like, man, you know, we got that last game. It was all divisional games. It was Dallas versus Giants, and it was Philly versus Washington. We just prayed to God that it came down to Washington or the Giants getting in or both teams, and we got our wishes. And then, yeah, you know, we got the tankage vibes from the Eagles, which, you know, put all Giants fans like, what is going on? We talked about that reaction because we were live doing that game, and we talked about that reaction. Now we got to get that clip and upload that clip because we were all floored. We were just like, whoa, couldn't believe it. Very interesting. It would have been nice to see the Giants get in, but I'm kind of glad that happened under Joe Judge in the first year. That team didn't deserve to make it to the playoffs. Started off too slow. So, you know, I'm kind of excited, and it gives me a little bit of more hope coming into this season. I think Joe Judge is going to make some adjustments earlier this season, seeing that, you know, last season started off so slow. Giants can't start off that slow this year for sure.
Yeah, and it's gonna be you know, jumping right into it, Denver.
Yeah, Denver's going to be a crucial one, man. So I'm still excited, man. Make sure y'all sub up, man. Awthentik and The Beard. We're going to be live, like I said, man, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. We also got the Wednesday show. I'm still trying to figure out a name for that Giant show. And then The Beard's also going to be doing another show as well. So we got full season content coming this year. And we're going to feature a lot more content creators, a lot more Q&As, featuring just a lot more y'all in the chat on the stream as well, man. And just looking forward to this season. This is going to be a really good season. So let's bust down this juggernaut New York Giants schedule. Y'all know what it is. The true champs from the NFC East. Let's take a look at what we got here, man. It don't look as brutal as y'all schedule, I swear. That Green Bay, adding Green Bay to y'all schedule just makes it like, wow.
That's because we have the first place schedule.
Yeah.
So we play it whenever you finish.
I don't know if you were kind of gloating and bragging right there when you said that.
No, not at all. It's just that when you win a division, you have to play the winners of all the other divisions next year.
Yep.
So, and we weren't a good team last year, so like.
Did I give oh yeah, I did. I was about to say, did I give a record prediction for Washington? I sure did. 6 wins, 11 losses. It's crazy. It feels a little bit harder to judge the season with the extra game, man. And durability is going to be a thing this year, you know. So I'm glad the Giants getting all these injuries out the way right now as we speak, you know, because I don't want to see no injuries come regular season here, man. So starting off, man, you know, I this season I tried to not go with my gut as much and my pride and, you know, my fandom, you know, like I did last season. Even though I do think that the Giants roster, I did make the predictions when Saquon Barkley was healthy. So we know if Saquon Barkley was healthy, that might have gave the Giants another extra win, maybe 2 wins on the schedule. But starting off here with the Broncos, man, you know, the glaring issue with the New York Giants, which they have addressed in the past couple of days, which is kind of crazy. We're trying to makeshift build this offensive line with only a couple days going into the season. I mean, you know, we just got a couple days here, and Dallas and the Bucs are going to kick off. So these guys are not – the chemistry is probably not there. And like I was saying earlier, I think the Giants have a big problem at left guard. You know, a lot of the pressure that's happening with Andrew Thomas is happening from the inside as well. And Daniel Jones – not having a lot of room to step up in the pocket. So, you know, left tackle and left guard, and I kind of knew this, but seeing people kind of like rag and bash on Andrew Thomas for the preseason performance he had against the Patriots, it really made me go look at the tape. And I shout out to Bobby from Talking Giants. I went and looked at his tape, and I also went and looked at Mike Tunice's tape from last year, breaking down how Daniel Jones was taking a lot of sacks where he felt that he should have seen it and been able to step up. But a lot of that stuff, you know, it looks like they're engaged when they hit the line, and then they just slip off that, and Daniel Jones is getting slammed on his back, getting hit blindside. All kind of crazy sacks happened with Daniel Jones last season. A lot of fumbles were caused by that too. So I'm a little bit worried going into this Broncos game. You know, that pass rush is serious business over there with Chubb and Von Miller. Like we talked about, they got the upgrade at cornerback with Surtain going over there as well. So we're looking at a high-caliber rookie who should be able to get in here and play some professional NFL-style football right away, kind of like what the Giants were with DeAndre Baker, which didn't happen. So I am kind of maybe leaving some room for that as well. You know, a top cornerback coming out of college and then entering the draft. We never really know if these guys are just going to out the gate be really good lockdown strap kind of cornerbacks. We don't know. So I do think we're going to be able to pass the ball. I'm hoping that Kenny Galladay is healthy for this game. Saquon Barkley, I think that's going to be an ease-in kind of type deal. We're going to see maybe 10 carries, maybe a grand total of 14 touches, 15 touches there, I think, in that game.
Booker looked good for you guys in the preseason.
Booker looked pretty decent. You know, one of the preseason games, people were looking at him kind of crazy, like, bro, why aren't you hitting the holes? You know, you kind of just tiptoeing, you know, doing the Ron Dane vibes, you know, not really hitting the hole. Like, hey, be a big boy and just run through these holes, man, you know. And Clement looked like the front runner to be the guy as far as the backup running backs, but then we saw Clement fumble, and then he got cut, and all that happened. But I got some faith in Booker. I think he can be a guy. I think the Giants are going to come out in this game and not be ready, though. You know, if you look at the press conference that happened with Saquon Barkley and Kenny Galladay, they both admitted in the press conference that Kenny Galladay said, we're going to get off to a slow start, most likely. You got to expect that. Offensively, we're going to get off to a slow start because a lot of these guys haven't been on the field together. Kadarius Toney's supposed to be a weapon for us in this offense. Ross is supposed to be a weapon for us in this offense. These guys haven't even really seen no preseason snaps at all. Galladay too, Saquon Barkley as well. These guys just got their first snaps in practice just the other day. We know about the signing with Kyle Rudolph, and he's been banged up too. They said he was looking like a coach for the first 3 weeks of preseason. You know, out there in khaki shorts looking like Gettleman. So I think that the Giants aren't going to be ready for this game. I think it'll be close, but it'll be a game that will kind of remind me of the Chicago Bears game last season, minus the injury to Saquon Barkley. But it'll remind me of that game where it's like we thought we could beat the Bears going into last season, and then they just came out and showed up, and we ended up losing a pretty close game. So I kind of see this game kind of going that way. So I'm going to take the Broncos week 1.
I mean, you hit everything that I was gonna say. It's very difficult, and I think that this is something that a lot of teams are gonna deal with, you know, one way or another. Whether it's, you know, injuries, new systems, resting vets, you know, just it's gonna look a little sloppy at first for a lot of the NFL, and that's how things go, you know, especially. You know, we're basically coming off of the first time ever doing a 3, you know, game preseason and our first time ever doing 17 games. So it's like, you know, you kind of are getting a little bit of an I don't want to say it like it's like every week doesn't matter, but you're kind of getting an extra week here, you know, in a sense. But I also think that this is going to be a tough matchup given the circumstances of the Giants team at this, point in the season. So I also have them losing that first game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of Giants fans are going to agree with that, too. I already see a few in the chat. Simon Coleman saying that's exactly why I feel the Giants will lose week 1. They're not ready. They need more chemistry. Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. Off season, everybody was hyped. Seeing Galladay out there early on, we're like, yeah, we're going to have our weapons. They're going to build chemistry. Really, they only got those couple of workouts. I believe they were in Arizona where Daniel Jones called out a couple of guys to come work out. Outside of that, man, we're just getting this last week's practice with Kenny Galladay out there. Kadarius Toney, I think, is getting out there a little bit as well. We saw Rudolph get out there. We saw Saquon get out there. But, yeah, you can't put things together in a week. Minus football, just anything in life is hard to put together in a week, So I know the coaches are going to have their hands full there. Hopefully the defense can show up maybe and Giants sneak out of that and get a W. But I'm in agreement with you too, bro. Like, yeah, I think we take the L there.
Second game.
Second game, man. Yeah, you talked about this. We know your pick on this one, and we don't got to get too deep into this one. I'm going Giants here. I think this is going to be two teams that really aren't in full stride yet. But I just think that the Giants – I honestly think that the New York Giants defense is better than Washington's defense. I know Washington is – they're getting the hype right now.
I'm sorry, wait. What
I think our defense is better. I think our defense is better.
Why on God's earth would you think that?
It starts in the secondary. Our two cornerbacks are 100% better than your cornerbacks. I'm going to just keep it 100 with you. Our middle linebacker, y'all have a question mark at middle linebacker. We have a Pro Bowler he's going to be a Pro Bowler this year. They snubbed him this past year. But Blake Martinez led the league in tackles. He's probably top 3 linebackers in the whole league under the radar. So I just start right there. The core of it. Middle linebacker is your quarterback for the defense. Your two cornerbacks are the guys who are going to strap down, lock up wide receivers. So I think where the Giants have their weakness is on the edge. But did you guys have a guy on your team that had 11 sacks last season?
No. But
exactly.
The combined total of sacks amongst all of our players. Like, I don't need if our team is top 5 in sacks in the entire league, top 3 in sacks in the entire league, then I don't necessarily need one player to have 11 sacks.
For sure,
you know
but
what
now we're talking about on the Giants players that weren't there last year that are coming back this year, upgrading in the draft. We're getting Lorenzo Carter back, who was our best edge rusher going into last season before he got hurt. So for me, I look at units, right? And I just think in the secondary, the Giants have a win. Not only with the starters, our depth is way more crazier than you in the secondary. Our secondary is just better to me. Our middle linebacker is just better to me. Y'all got the edge rushers. I'll give you that. But our interior of our defense is better. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. No, but our defensive line in general, from edge to edge and everything in between, is 10 times better.
Like
than
I said,
what
I'm one to think that the Washington football team is getting a little bit overhyped. I think Chase Young is a great player. Go look at Talking Giants. Go look at the footage he broke down of every snap. It happens in 1 minute. You can absorb it so quickly. Every matchup of Chase Young versus Andrew Thomas, a guy who we know Andrew Thomas is not in full stride yet, he literally shut Chase Young down. He shut him down. And
there's
Chase
going
Young's
to be
trying
games
to go around
where people get shut down, but I mean,
we played y'all twice.
Yeah, and one of those games was Chase Young, not 100% Chase Young.
I get you. I get it. If you out there,
he was out on the groin injury. You know what I'm saying?
I expect full progress if you out there. You either hurt or you injured. If you hurt, you better be out there balling. You know Omar Epps. You know what he told him in there. You know what he told him.
I mean, look, I feel like this is going to be a debate for the year, because in my honest opinion, like you make some valid points. Don't get me wrong, and I think Blake Martinez is amazing, and I think that there are players on the Giants defense that's good, and I think the Giants defense is a good defense, but in no realm of possibility is the Giants defense overall a better defense than the Washington defense in my opinion.
You saying no realm. You see, I don't ever speak like that. This is like what I was telling you about when you were talking about Alex Smith last season. He's never gonna. Now, you don't say stuff like that, because y'all are literally coming off 1 year
right now.
Yeah, you said something about you said everybody, something like that. But what I'm saying more is like, yeah, you had one good season last year where statistically the Washington football team's defense was ranked well. You guys were high up there. Your rush defense was even high up there. Your pass defense was #1 throughout the whole entire year. But when I look at that secondary and that unit, to me, they're not better than our unit. So I just got to break it down by units. If we were breaking down the offense, I would say offensive line, running back core, quarterback, and wide receivers. And if we win more than that, if we could win 3 out of the 4 categories, to me, we'd have the better offense. Now, I'm not jumping the gun saying that the Giants have a better offense than Washington football team. I think it is pretty close. I'm not Nick Wright over here. But when it comes to the defense, yeah, you guys statistically, your pass defense was better than our pass defense last year. But what we were playing on the weak side corner for New York Giants was bad all year long. You know, you had Isaac Yadam, and then you had the other cat early on in the season, Ryan, what was my man's name? Dang.
Love?
No,
that's
Julian Love got a little bit of PT too, and he's back. I think Julian Love showed some promise. He can be a
Logan
guy.
Ryan.
No, Logan Ryan's safety, baller. Just a ball. That's really the leader of our defense. There was a
Ryan Lewis.
Ryan Lewis. I knew he had a name like an artist because Ryan Lewis is the dude that produced the records for Macklemore. Yeah, so Ryan Lewis, that's the guy. Who he was bad. He was getting beat in the Dallas game. We were in that game, and he got beat deep for a big play that really made that scoreboard kind of change. But like I said, I don't think that you're in the wrong for thinking that your defense is better than the Giants. Do what you do. But I'm telling you, when I break down them units,
you're in the wrong either.
The middle linebacker and the linebacking core for the Giants, we just got Azeez in the draft. I mean, like, this is going to be an improved defense. The only thing that we lost was Tomlinson in the interior, which, Carter's coming back to be one of the best interior defensive linemen in the league. I'm telling you, he's a guy that showed promise. And then you got Leonard Williams there. You can't tell me that who's y'all interior guys? Is it Deron Payne and
John Allen, Payne, Ioannidis?
Yeah, Ioannidis plays in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, to me they don't match up with what the Giants got cracking over here. We had one guy with 11 sacks.
I look.
You could disagree.
Yeah,
you could disagree.
yeah,
I'm not going to be mad at you to disagree.
Yeah, no.
You know, it is what it is. We're entering a new season where the Giants have another lockdown corner. If Adoree Jackson is healthy throughout the year, these wide receiver cores throughout the league are going to have problems with the Giants defense. We know right now the Giants defense was ranked 9th last year. So don't think that the Washington football team was like glaringly ahead of the New York Giants defense. It really wasn't. So when I look at that game, and if y'all defense was so good, I mean, what happened when y'all played us last year? We talking about a offense that didn't have Saquon Barkley that took care of y'all in 2 games. There was no pressure on the quarterback.
I mean, look, it's a 17-game season. You know, I mean,
sure.
There's going to be games where defense doesn't play well, offense might not play well. You know, like, you got to remember too how bad our offense was.
Who you talking to, bro?
Good,
our offense scored 11
is.
passing touchdowns from the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I mean,
y'all got 5 wins out of a guy you said was never going to play again. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if we got those wins out of him, but he just was playing quarterback during.
I know winning is not necessarily truly a quarterback statistic, but when Dwayne Haskins wasn't out there getting dubs, he got a dub, I think. Maybe one. Kyle Allen was out there getting smacked trying to run the ball. You know, so you really had a guy on one hobbled leg. He was walking out there with a prosthetic leg getting you W's.
So, so you think William Jackson is not an upgrade for Washington in the secondary?
I didn't say that. He's an upgrade, 100%.
Getting Landon Collins back, and you know,
Giants fans don't want to hear you talking about no Landon Collins.
I know
Giants
that.
fans, I got big respect for Landon Collins. I think Landon Collins is a baller. He came into this camp a little bit trimmed down too, which, you know, he's going to need a little bit more speed. I think he can be a top strong safety in the league for sure, especially if utilized correctly. But I'm not like super high on Landon Collins. You know, he's a good player.
I mean, listen, I think you
look,
make
you see
valid
Joel,
points.
Look, you see Joel.
Collins sucks.
And
I think you make a lot of valid points, and the biggest difference to me is the middle of the field as far as the linebacking core, because that's the biggest question mark for Washington on defense. So, you know, if you add that in, I guess I can see where you're coming from. You know,
I think Chase Young has to work on the inside bull rush heavy.
I think that'll
Teams
be
are going to watch his tape
thing.
and see how he's trying to do that swim to the outside all the time, and it's going to change up. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for him this year. I'm not going to say it's going to change up, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him. You know, and I just think that, like, you know, at the end of the year, maybe Washington's defense ends up with a higher rank than the New York Giants. But I don't think that it's like outlandish to think in this galaxy or whatever you said that the Giants defense can be better.
In the
realm of possibility, yeah. I mean, the Giants defense can be a lot better, especially with the lockdown corner over there. People were eating and feasting off of that weak side corner with the Giants last year. So, you know, with this game here, I think if we could win the last one and y'all win this one, or vice versa. I'm going with the split, just like you went, or I think you went with the split. So I'm going with the split. I like that. But for me, it's just I think the Giants are going to have more urgency to not start the season 0-2. The Giants have been 0-2 in like every season. The past 10 years have just been crazy. The Giants have just started off 0-2 way too much. So I think there's going to be a little bit of urgency there. And I think not only will our players be a great addition to why we'll win that game, but I think Joe Judge is going to be the main factor of why we win that game, because now he's learning. You know, he's already got a season under his belt. Ron Rivera, I saw somebody in the chat say this, that he's never had back-to-back winning seasons. Is that what I saw? That's kind of crazy.
I might have missed that.
Well,
yeah, we didn't have a winning season last year. So.
Yeah. I don't know why people are super high on Washington the way they are. To me, I think that Dallas could be the team that Washington or New York Giants will struggle with and have some problems with, because Dak Prescott coming back, that offense is going to be really good again. You know, Zeke Elliott, CeeDee Lamb is about to be a premier wide receiver in his league. But it's a toss-up, man. I think NFC East is one of the more difficult divisions to judge what's going to happen, just like last year. I mean, I thought Philly was going to finish off a little bit better. They were straight garbage last year, you know? Yeah. So I'll get us to take that W right there. In Washington, especially because I'm going to be there. And you know how that goes when Awthentik in the building, the Giants show out.
I can't remember the last time.
I'll keep 100. Somebody in the chat said y'all ain't beat us since 2018 October.
Yeah, I don't even think I think that was a road game. I don't think that was, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the last time we went to a game where the Giants lost.
Man, it's been a grip. It's been a grip.
Can you remember?
I can't because even the season where we had like 3 games in one season, because like the New Year came around and we had a game that was at FedEx. I feel like we beat y'all every game. You know, Giants been owning y'all, but I'm a little worried about that because, you know, when you beat a team for too long, it's like, yo, they studying you, bro. They're gonna try to get their get back. So I think it'll be a tough game. I think it'll be a close game. I think the Giants score somewhere in the last 5 minutes of that game to win that game by like 4 points. So I got us starting off 1-1 there. Then week 3, it's a home game against the Falcons. I don't even want to talk about that game too much. These teams that we matched up with Washington already, we know what they're about. I think the Giants are going to beat the Falcons. I think we're going to be.
I have you guys winning that game also.
Yep. And then going into week 4 there against the Saints, I'm hoping that the Saints are kind of like just getting things going, just figuring out how to really utilize Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill together like they did with Drew Brees, you know, because they were a tough offense to stop. They were a tough team to stop because the defense was playing well when Drew Brees was out there healthy. But I got an L here. I got the Giants taking an L to the Saints and starting off the season there 2-2, which honestly, man, like just saying that, it don't feel right to me because the Giants were not a great team last year. Let's not get it twisted. The Giants only won 6 games last year. We could have won that game against Philly. And I know a lot of people want to blame Evan Ingram for that drop on 3rd down, which could have, you know, we could have iced the game and ran the clock out there. But let's not forget about how that defense completely collapsed as well. I told y'all that a lot last year. That defense allowed them to score 2 touchdowns. Literally right after Evan Ingram dropped the play on 3rd down, they came down, threw a bomb to Ward, got like 50 yards and were right in scoring range. So everybody's got to show up. When one player doesn't do his job, somebody else got to be doing their job. You don't have to. Football is not the kind of game where everyone has to be 100% doing their assignment on every play for a play to work out, you know, or for a team to just win a game. So I'm looking at, you know, this feels sketchy. Me saying 2-2, I can't even really remember the last time the Giants were 2-2. It feels sketchy. But I think it could be 3-1. And it also could be 1-3 because
that's where I have them at.
Don't let the Giants come out the gate and beat the Broncos. What if we come out and beat the Broncos convincingly? I think it changes everything of the landscape here for these first 4 games. But I got them, you know, with just trying to play this with a little bit of realism. You know, I know a lot of people like to be optimistic. A lot of people like to be pessimistic. I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic this year. I know the Giants are going to improve. I know we're going to win more games than 6 games, but I also don't want to be thinking we're going to go 10-7. Beard. So I'm gonna go 2-2 there, and then we're gonna be traveling to Dallas, and we don't play Dallas well over there. You know, since that new stadium, I remember when Eli Manning signed the locker and whatnot. It's been pretty bad when we play the Cowboys in Dallas. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Dallas that win there as well. The Giants will lose 2 straight, Saints and Dallas, and right there will be 2-3.
I also have Dallas beating the Giants in that game and putting you guys at 1-4 at this point.
Yo, I don't even like this tone. This tone is like The Giants are gonna lose. The Giants are gonna lose. The Giants are gonna lose.
It's funny to me because the way that you had Washington starting is exactly like how heavy.
I know. We got to kind of like subliminally hate on each other a little bit.
We're very, what I'm saying, like we're not like hating on each other's teams, and we went through these schedules separately, so I had no idea that you were gonna have.
This is fact.
Washington.
I wanted to go through it together, and you were like, "Oh, I already got it." I said, "Oh man, I already got it too, though. I had already written it down too. I was trying to be sneaky." That didn't work out too well, man. Hey, but Giants Nation, y'all know we in the building one time. Shout out to the 51 people that are in the chat right now tuning into Awthentik and The Beard. Don't forget to subscribe to us if you're not subscribed. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, maybe Wednesday. Man, we might be going live every week. Beginning of the season, who knows? We might just 7 days a week go live. Who knows? But make sure you tuned in, man. We're going to be doing a lot of in-season coverage, man, because that's how we do. I'm a fan of this, man. I don't consider myself to be a Max Kellerman. Salute to Max Kellerman, who just left ESPN First Take. I wish him nothing but the best. He's a half-hearted Giants fan. Him and Molly Kieran, I swear they be like, if we win in, the Giants are my team. If we losing, it's not their team. But best wishes to Max Kellerman moving forward, leaving the Stephen A. Smith show, man. Giants are in the building one time. Yeah, can I get some biceps in the chat one time, man? Left side.
Strong side.
In the building
and Joel
one time.
got y'all going 5-0.
Yeah, Joel, you over there on cloud 9 with these Giants, man. I don't know, brother. I don't know. I want to see it. Proof is in the pudding. If we come out and do that, bro, I'm going to be sicing our Giants. And for those of y'all who don't know what sicing means, that's kind of like hyping when you're in D.C. So, yeah, definitely I'm hoping for that. But like I said, pessimistic, optimistic, and then you got authentic, keeping it realistic. Ooh, that might be a little saying. You hear me out here slanging them bars, bro? Wow.
I mean, you're authentic.
Shout out to Engraving in the building one time, man. Thank you for that offensive lineman you guys gave us. Sorry to hear about J.K. Dobbins, bro. That's you never want to see those kind of injuries happen in the preseason. Especially his was in the game, right? Yeah, it was in the preseason game. Rest your starters, man. Rest your starters. Remember, you called it. You know I will, bro. And I'll give you your props, man. I will definitely give you your props when the Giants start off 5-0. That's going to be amazing. Please tell me how the Giants improve more than Washington. I don't know. That's tough. Yeah, Washington won 7 games, and it was one more win than the Giants had last season. But I put those teams in a very equal kind of position. When the Beard was going over his picks, I thought 10-7 might have been a little bit too high. I would have liked him to cap that off at 9-8. And I think that these two teams will improve pretty equally. I don't think that the Giants are going to be way more improved than Washington because both of these teams made a lot of the same moves. Bringing in some wide receiver help, bringing in some defensive help. I think these teams kind of stand in a very similar position. I think where the Giants might have the upper hand is with the coach. But Washington might have the upper hand with the offensive coordinator. We're hoping that Jason Garrett can get it together this year. I know a lot of people like to call him comeback Garrett. He's always running the same vanilla routes, but that's to set up the deep route. That's how Garrett has always operated in Dallas. Now he's got the weapons. We need guys like Ross and Kadarius Toney and Galladay to be able to just peel the cap off the top of these defenses and make sure that people are keeping safety help over the top, which will make Saquon Barkley that much better. And let's not forget, the Washington football team won one more game than the Giants last year, and we did not have Saquon Barkley, who is arguably, when healthy, one of the best running backs in the NFL. So I'll leave that there. You got flies in there, too. I got gnats in here. Yo, for those that don't know, I'm sure y'all know, but we had a major storm hit the East Coast. And y'all know about the hurricane destroying New Orleans and all that. So many of my friends, like prayers out to their families. DJ Alizé, who's one of the most like poppin'est DJs in this area, he actually had a production credit on the Justin Bieber record, that record that's like the summer record right now with what's the kid out of Africa? What's the kid out of Africa? Wizkid, yeah. DJ Alizé has production credits on that. The sample choice and the remix with Bieber and all that was all DJ Alizé. But his family is suffering greatly from a flood that happened in their apartment. My man Timos, who's another producer from out here, man, he just had a baby. Him, his wife, and his baby, they had their apartment. It's one of those lower build kind of apartments. Completely flooded. The whole place, bro. Like his records were on a shelf swimming in the apartment. They lost everything. They got a GoFundMe, which I'll try to plug on my Twitter if you guys want to help, them get back on their feet. A lot of people in the on the East Coast got hit heavy. My brother's apartment where he used to live at, 2 apartments down from him. That whole thing got flooded. A 19-year-old kid, I guess, who couldn't get out of the water ended up passing, man. So prayers out, rest in peace to him, and prayers out to all these families dealing with all of this water issue. While I'm in here, bitching and complaining about the gnats that I'm getting because of all the water that hit us. And thank God my studio didn't flood, man. And most of my stuff is a little bit elevated. But the kind of water that's coming in through these studios and coming in through these apartments, we're talking 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet of water, man. So prayers out to anybody that y'all got or anybody that y'all know that's dealing with that, man. I hope that people can find a way to get it together, man, because these natural disasters is kicking our butt right now.
Mm-hmm.
So moving forward, though, so right here I got us at 2-3 after the Dallas game. Joel, you got us at 5-0. I'm looking for these W's. I'm really looking for these W's. I'm trying to keep it not pessimistic, not optimistic, but I'm trying to keep it authentic and realistic. That is going to be a thing, The Beard. Oh my God, that's going to be a thing, bro. That is going to be a thing, bro. Yo, what was the joint that we were saying the other day that you couldn't get out of your head? The music for StreamYard when you're like, testing the sound. Yo, that was hilarious. But yeah, so I got us 2-3. Going into this game, the Rams are going to be coming to New York to play the Giants there. I don't think there's much to be said there. The only advantage we got is Cam Akers took an injury there, which, now you got Sony Michel's probably starting running back or splitting carries with Henderson over there with the Rams. But I'm going to go ahead and just say that one's an L. I'm looking at the Rams this year as a Super Bowl contender. Definitely an NFC East NFC Conference representative for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Giants moved to 2-4. Not even going to be a close game. Y'all remember how the Rams took care of us last season, I believe that was. They really did damage to the Giants. And that defense has been the number 1 defense all last year and took the number 1 pass defense spot from the Washington football team late in the season, too. They got the best cornerback in the NFL in Jalen Ramsey. That's going to be a tough one. And I see the Rams taking that W.
Yep, I got that down as another loss for.
See that little smirk? Yeah, I know it's like you like it. Yep. New York Giants fans, you get ready. You're losing that game.
That's an L.
Sebastian says he's got us at 3-3 there, which I'm not too I'm not mad at that prediction. Big Blue in the Bronx says he got us at 4-2 there. I'm not too mad at that either. I think that's looking at it just a bit, not like a lot optimistic, just a little bit. Like Giants could totally be 4-2 there. You come out, you beat the Broncos, you could beat the Washington football team, you could beat the Falcons, maybe sneak out a win between the Saints and the Cowboys, and you could be there. So Beard's got us as an L there.
1-5 right there.
Got us at 1-5 there. Yeah. I mean, and also, I'll keep it 100 with you, too. That could happen. You never know, man. The Giants have been known to get a slow start these last couple of years, man. And with no chemistry, no offseason work, no preseason snaps, Saquon Barkley just took his first hit like just a couple days ago. Yeah, I could see it going that way, too. It's not going to – I tweeted out the other day, don't panic when you see the Giants go 0-2 if that happens. Don't panic. Just roll with the punches. I think that the strength or, the strength of the opposing teams on our schedule is right around here. It's right around this Rams game and, a couple more teams here. But we get some weeks where I think we got some W's here. So
I think the next week is one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Carolina's a team that everybody in the NFC East should beat. You had Washington beating them. I think we can beat that team too. Just if y'all beat them, it'll give us the leg up. We'll see the formula. I think that the Washington football team is built very similar to the New York Giants. So if Washington handles them, it'll be a good way to just scout and look at that tape and see how we're going to handle the Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold, he can be all right, but he ain't going to do nothing too crazy. I do think that Washington maybe should have pulled the move on Sam Darnold. He'd have been a cheap option to bring in for sure. So yeah, I'll take Carolina, and I'll be that. I'll take that as a W for the Giants for sure, which would then put us at what do I got? 3 wins there. That put us at like 3-4 for me, and 2-5 for you. Yeah, 2-5 for you, 3-4 for me. Just seeing Kansas City on the schedule.
It's tough, man.
Yeah, man. Like, why we got to play Kansas City and Tampa Bay?
So do
Super
we.
Bowl representatives. Yeah, so do y'all for sure. And y'all got Green Bay. That tops it off. You're like, and you guys got Buffalo. So you could, that's like the top. They're in the top 5
That's what I'm
teams
saying,
in the NFL.
man.
Yeah, it makes it really tough, man. That's why I think y'all are going to be lower than the Giants this year. But Kansas City, man, too much firepower. Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be a problem for our pass rush. And I think that our safeties are going to struggle in this game. If you look back to the game against the Baltimore Ravens last season where Giants played the Baltimore Ravens, I want to say it was at home. Yo, Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews completely destroyed the Giants there. And, with the mobile quarterback situation, you could see that our line was having trouble getting to the mobile quarterback. There was the game against the Seahawks with Russell Wilson where we showed some promise there. But yeah, I see that game. Giants can't win that game. I don't care what nobody say. Monday night against the Chiefs, we're losing that game. It's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be a great test early on, mid kind of round of the season to see where the Giants stand. But Kansas City is super high powered, man. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes on the offensive side of the ball. Honey Badger on defense. Yo, that team is just really, really good.
Yeah.
Like I told y'all earlier, man, it was in the Diggy stream. A lot of y'all dudes were smoking huff talking about, that offense is, I don't even know what y'all were saying. I was just like, yo, this is crazy. Y'all are like smoking mushrooms. I like that. Whoever said that about Max Kellerman, smoking mushrooms, because you don't do that, but that's pretty hilarious. So I'm gonna call that an L.
Yeah, that's a loss.
Yeah, that's a loss. So I got the Giants at 3-5 right there. Now, this game coming up here, man, this November 7th matchup against the Raiders. The Raiders, to me, on both schedules are the hardest game to judge. I broke down Derek Carr, and I told y'all about his statistics, man. Derek Carr has been balling. 2 seasons of 4,000-plus yards. He's been over 67% completion percentage both his last 2 years. In 2019, he was 70%. That's from a guy who throws the ball. He really throws the ball. And you're looking at 48 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. His passer rating was 101 and 100 the past 2 seasons. This is a guy that needs to be talked about in the top 10 quarterbacks. And when you look at the quarterback situation across the NFL, the top 5 guys are really good, and then it completely just kind of falls off. The difference between the tier 1 guys and the tier 2 guys and then tier 3, there's a drastic difference. I think that a guy like Josh Allen is right on the cusp of that. He's somewhere around like number 5 to me at the moment, coming off that big season last season and knowing that he has the weapons coming back. Stephon Diggs is a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL for sure. But then outside of that, it's like, who are we mentioning? You got the Dak Prescotts. There's Ben Roethlisberger still hanging around there, But I think that Derek Carr needs to be the guy that's mentioned. Not enough people are looking at his statistics. And early on in the year, this guy was a winner. I thought that the Raiders were going to be a team that was going to be, contending for the playoffs, and they completely fell apart in November. So I'm looking at the Raiders as a really tough game. I almost got to go back and look at what I wrote for it. I wrote down an L, and then I crossed it out. So I think it'll be a close game, but by that point, the Giants should be striding. Our offense should look like what it should look like. 25 points a game, I'm thinking here. As long as everybody's healthy, Giants are going to sneak out of that game with a victory. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, too. I think it's going to be like 30-27 New York Giants.
I think I just gave you guys a W because it was a home game, and I felt bad because I only had 2 wins for you guys all up to that point. So
yeah, you ain't got to feel bad. You ain't got to feel bad for Giants Nation.
Not that I felt bad, but I just
let me tell you.
I felt like your team was better than the record I was giving us
these. This is how Giants Nation feels about you giving us these W's that I was feeling bad.
Spike don't care.
You feel me, cuz? All right. That's how we doing this year, man. Giants going to turn up. Like I said, there's no way we're going to win less than 6 games, bro. So, yeah, I'm glad you marked that game as a W.
I really think also is I think one of the main reasons was because I think that it's such an important game because you're coming off of the game with Kansas City, and then you have that game, and then the bye week, and then Tampa. So I just think that that's a really important game to win in between Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and a bye week. So and it's a good one to have at home. So and they're going to be traveling, West Coast to East Coast. So and that's an early game. It's a 1:00 game on a Sunday from Vegas to New York. So
yeah, you make some real valid points there, man. And when I was looking at the strength of the schedule here, I looked at Washington's like, oh, my God, that stretch where you got Tampa, Green Bay, Kansas City. The Giants kind of have a stretch like that right here, Kansas City, that's going to be tough. And then you play the Raiders. Don't go lose to the Raiders because then you're going to enter your bye week and got to come out the bye week and play the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah,
that's going to be tough. You lose that game, now you're talking about losing 3 games within a 4-week period and then having to go to that Philly game that's at home and win. It's a must-win at that point if you lose all those games that lead up to it, So that's kind of why I'm not acting pessimistic and I'm not acting optimistic, but I'm keeping it authentic and I'm being realistic with this schedule. I wanted to pick the Raiders in that game. I really did want to pick the Raiders in that game. because I think they're going to be a much improved team. I think the Raiders and the Chargers are two teams that are going to be a lot better than they were last year. But I got to go with a little bit of pride on this one. And yeah, I'm going to pick the Giants for that one for sure. So where does that put me and you at here? I got wins against Washington, Falcons, Carolina, and the Raiders. So I got 5 wins entering the bye week. And that would put the Giants
at 3-6 at the bye week.
You got them 3-6. I got them 5-4. Chat, what y'all thinking? Where will we be when we enter the bye week? I got us looking at 5-4. The Beards got us looking at 3-6. Big Blue in the Bronx says it's 38-38. Is that Notre Dame?
Yeah. How did that happen?
He said, how did that happen?
They were up 38-20.
Yeah, this is a game that you got to win. You got to win. You can't lose.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm surprised you ain't got it on somewhere. Streaming on the phone or something.
They just kicked a field goal. It's 38-38 with 40 seconds left in the game.
And who kicked the field goal?
Florida State to tie it, 38-38.
Okay, so y'all are going to get the ball with 40 seconds left. That'll be fun. Keep your eye on that, man. If you want, I'll do the same.
Oy.
Look at him. See, he got tight now. Look at him. Those were the faces he was making in the playoffs when Tom Brady was driving down the field on y'all. That good stretch where it's just like, oh, God.
Kent Daigle's in the building. What's up, Kent? Thanks for joining us, brother.
Is that Kent's first time up in here?
Nah, he been around here.
Oh, Authentic. Mr. Hang Glider, man, says I had him at 4-5, actually. So I had the wins with Washington, Falcons, Carolina, and Raiders. Yeah, you're right. I got him at 4-5. Yep, 4-5. Balby's got us at 6-3. Big Blue in the Bronx 5-4. Joel 7-2. Simon 4-5. See, I mean, I think the Giants are like a very could go really good, could go really bad this year. We don't know, so it's definitely something to keep our eyes on. But coming out of the bye week, man, the Buccaneers game, that's going to be a tough one, man. It is a rematch for Daniel Jones from last year, who we did play well against the Bucs last season, and Daniel Jones got down to that 2-point conversion that was going to tie the game up right at the end. We ran a quick out route, I believe it was to Dion Lewis. The pass was just a pinch late, and it was a little bit off target. It was kind of on his back inside shoulder. If you ask me, there was a pass interference called. It wasn't called on that play, but that's all good. I do think we can hang with them. Granted, they are the defending Super Bowl champions. The Giants match up well against the Bucs because our run defense is really good, and I think that with the Bucs, everything is predicated from the run first, and then once you bring people up, then Tom Brady going to try to attack and take it over the top on you. But I still got to go and say that that's an L for us. So that will put us at 4-6 actually coming out the bye.
It's gonna be an L for me.
Dog. How was that? Your tone was like, what's my man's name? Randy
Jackson. It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
It's gonna be a no for me, dog. You know how bad that hurt for some of those contestants, bro? No? Oh, damn. He take my ass.
Yeah, because
home.
He would always do it like.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Dog. He really should have trademarked that, dog. Yeah, 33 seconds left in your game there. Still 38-38. 29. You're on your own 29.
Oh, no. It just had a big play, though.
That's good. All you got to do is get in the field goal range.
22-yard completion.
Y'all on their 49-yard line now. 33 seconds left. All right. Hopefully these Notre Dame Fighting Irish could keep fighting here and pull away a W here. And, you could breathe a sigh of relief while we do the rest of the schedule.
Goes to overtime, I'm going to be irate.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy, man.
They were literally up 38-20 with the fourth quarter.
Yeah, y'all looking sus, bro. That's sus right there against the Florida State Seminoles. That's sus for sure, man. But week 12, we're going to go see Philadelphia Eagles for the first time. I can't stand how they backing up all these division games here down towards the end of the season. It's just not good. This is a home game, man. I think I'm actually going to be in attendance at this game. I know a lot of Giants Nation is actually going to be going to this game as well. That's going to be a fun one to be at. And we owe Philly. Did I write this right? Yeah, we owe Philly. Mm-hmm. So I got us taking that game. Convincing.
I got you guys winning that game too. Payback.
Yeah. That's gonna be a convincing win, I feel like. Payback. Just like you said, ain't too much to say about that, man. We owe them. They did us a disservice and did NFL a disservice last season. Who's their owner over there? Do you know their owner off the top of your head?
No, I know that their GM is Howie.
Howie Rosen.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Howie Rosen. We owe him because they put in Nate Sudfeld against the Washington football team last year with everything on the line, and they kind of ruined that for the Giants. But it felt good to beat the Cowboys. But yeah, that's going to be a dub. Big play Slay, Jeffrey Lurie. See, that's why I like Slay. Slay know his stuff, man. Yeah, we owe y'all, Slay. Plan on the Giants beating the brakes off the Philadelphia Eagles next year. No mercy. We're going to run up the scoreboard. We doing everything. We going ham. So I see that as a W. And you said you see that as a W for the Giants too.
Yep.
So that would put us at 5-6 for me, I believe. Yeah, 4-6, then 5-6. Yep. So that puts me at 5-6 for the New York Giants. And then this was another hard game. This is another hard stretch. What up, Bluegrass? How you living? Bluegrass in the building one time. Big supporter of Awthentik and The Beard, man. Always sharing our stuff on Facebook and all the social media platforms, man. We definitely really appreciate that, bro. All love from over here. But this Miami game, man, these two next games are tough because the Chargers are going to be striding. Miami might be a really good team. We know that they've had one of the most successful rebuilds in recent years, and that was a quick rebuild. I know when they were offering all those players to Houston and draft picks and all that, people were like, yo, they losing their mind. They're going to be a bad team for 5, 6, 7 years to come. And, man, that team last year showed out. I love what's my man, the coach over there, Flores? Brian Flores. I love what he's doing over there, man. I thought that the Chargers should have gave Anthony Lynn the same kind of chance. You know, I know Anthony Lynn made some bonehead time management decisions last season, but I felt like they could have gave him another chance over there. Because he was doing good things and stuck with the quarterback even after Tyrod Taylor was healthy. But that Miami game is a really tough one for me. I almost want to renege on it, but I got us beating them. I got us beating Miami. I got us beating Miami, and to just get into the next game a little bit, I got us losing to the Chargers. But I think that those two games could be flip-flop.
That's another one of those like mini stretches for you guys that you know could be very determining of, you know, which direction the season goes. It was tough. I kind of was back and forth on both of those games also. Unfortunately, I did have you guys losing both of those games.
Okay. So, yeah, that kind of explains why you have our record a little bit low, too, because, yeah, those are games that could kind of go either way. Like, if you told me the Miami Dolphins beat the New York Giants, it wouldn't completely surprise me, but I think we are a kind of team that could contend with them. And the Chargers matchup, that's going to be a good one. I was talking with DeAndre. Shout out to my homie DeAndre, man. He just started up a new performance series in the D.C. area called Crabs in the Bucket. It's hosted at Wonderland Ballroom. Awesome event. Shout out to all the acts that performed on the first night. My homie Track was on that bill. I met a couple other acts that night that I had never seen before. Just fire. And I'm planning on actually being on one of those bills. But me and him was talking about maybe trying to go to L.A. and see that game because that game is at the Charger Stadium. And I thought that'd be an interesting one to see Daniel Jones matching up with Herbert, man, two young quarterbacks that, you know, obviously Herbert's got the one up on him right now after the rookie season, but Daniel Jones, you know, fared very well in his rookie season too. We can't forget about that. So that should be an interesting matchup. But I got the Giants losing to the Chargers on that game just because it's away, long travel. I think it'll be a really close game, but I got the Chargers sneaking out of that one, maybe like 28-24. He said, how you feeling about that game? What's your pick for Chargers Giants?
I have them losing that game. That's that back-to-back stretch of Miami and Los Angeles.
I got you. So then we enter what is this? This is going to be the home game versus Dallas. Going to overtime. That's why you kind of sidetracked. I was looking at you like
interception.
Terrible. You can't throw an interception when you're trying to get in field goal range right there. Yeah, I can see it on. It's all on your mind right now. Let's just send Tim off the stream real quick. I'll finish out the schedule. This boy about to have a heart attack. But yeah, man, I got us for this Dallas game. This home one, I got us taking the W here. I think we'll beat Dallas late in the season here. I don't see Dallas sweeping the Giants. Last year, actually, we should have swept Dallas. If you look at that first game, we were really in that game. No Saquon Barkley for that game. I think Dallas ended up beating us by like 9 or 10 points in that game, but we were in it throughout the whole way. A couple of collapses on defense allowed them to get in range to score and kind of put us away late. But, yeah, I'm taking the W there against Dallas. I think it'll be a hard-fought game. I think it's going to be a great matchup, too. Hopefully Zeke Elliott is here and healthy. I want to see Zeke Elliott versus Saquon Barkley. I hope both of these teams are healthy late in December for this game. A lot of people are talking about going to that game, too. But I don't know, man. That'd be kind of a journey for me to go up there in the middle of December, that close to Christmas. I don't know if that'd be a good idea. And then if we lose that game, got to come back all salty. Not a good look. But I got us taking that W there.
Dallas in December on the road. I also have the Giants winning that game.
Yeah.
Like I just, these division games are always, like you said, they can go either way. It's just that's the nature of a division game,
Yeah.
But typically and historically, Dallas does really bad in the month of December specifically, and on the road. And I just think that's an opportunity for the Giants to make up a game. I also have the Giants winning that game for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on that, man. And Monique says that was the game that Dak got injured. Our defense stepped up in the end. Yeah, that was interesting. They had Dalton on the roster then, right? He came in and played in relief. I know that he ended up getting hurt. He got a concussion, and they had to go to some other quarterbacks for a couple games there. DiNucci got some play time.
DiNucci.
And your boy, I don't know if Gilbert Grape got in.
What's eating Gilbert Grape?
Yeah, I don't know if he got in. I think he did get in, actually. Ben DiNucci looked like one of the worst quarterbacks I'd ever seen in the NFL. He looked bad. But yeah, so I got us with that game, winning that Cowboys game, I got us at 6-8 right there. With 3 games to go. And the Giants like to finish strong, man. We like to finish strong. So I definitely see us going here into Philly. And like I said, we owe them. We're going to sweep Philly. We're going to beat them there. I really wanted to go to that game. I wanted to go to the one in Philly, rocking my Eli. But a lot of the Giants people, content creators and fans alike were like, oh, man, Philly's dangerous and da-da-da-da. I ain't scared of no ghosts, but if ain't nobody going to be there, I don't want to be there with no ghosts. So,
I don't know why, but I have you guys losing that game.
I mean,
maybe that might be
one
I could see go either way. But I think that was one of the, because I have, us sweeping Philly.
And that makes it difficult to see 2 teams sweep a team. I know that I thought about that when I was doing my schedule prediction too. I was like, all right, well, if we sweep Philly, then Washington can't sweep Philly. Dallas can't sweep Philly.
Yeah, I mean, I think Philly can't be that bad. But once again, like that's a game that I can see. I'm not definitive on. It's not like the Kansas City games and the Tampa Bay games, that sort of situation. So I can definitely see the Giants taking that game. I definitely have them winning the Philly game at home. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give that game, I'm going to give you guys a loss for now.
Got you. Got to stick to the script. I feel you.
Got to stick to the script.
Mr. Hangglider, man, says that Philly game is on my birthday. We got to win that one. So I'm with you on that, man. I'll make sure to find you and wish you a happy birthday after we get that W straight up. And then King Tone also says, he says, Awthentik, if you notice, when the Giants offense messes up at the end of the game last year, the defense messes up and we give up points. Scratching my head or shaking my head. I don't know, a lot of people like to use different ones on that. I agree with you on that. It's like the defense is waiting for the offense to put the game away, and then the offense collapses and the defense gets out there and they collapse. That happened a lot last year. I totally agree with you on that. We got to clean that up this year. And the Beard knows how much I stressed this last year about finishing games in the second half, like when you're about to enter the half, when it's about to be halftime, finish the second quarter strong. Go into the half with some positivity, and then also when you get to the fourth quarter, you got to finish the fourth quarter. There were so many games early on that we just did not finish early. We allowed teams to score points right before the half. I can't remember the exact games off the top of my head, but there were so many games in the first 8 that ended like that. The Giants started to kind of clean it up a little bit towards the second half of the season. But yeah, that's definitely a thing that the Giants got to correct.
Losses like that last year.
And what was Big Play Slay saying there? I didn't get to see that one.
he said that's why I was laughing at. He was like, we're not going to be great next year, but gee, we ain't getting swept by the entire division.
That's real. Yeah, they got to beat somebody, man. And there's always the Cowboys. There's always the Cowboys out there. Y'all can get some W's there. So let me see. So we got the win against the Cowboys. That put us at 6-8. We got the win against the Eagles. That put us at 7-8. Now, this Chicago game, this is an interesting game because the Giants are playing for, 2 birds, 1 stone here. Like, we have the first-round pick of the Chicago Bears. I think it's important that we beat them. The more we can knock them down and knock them off, that's better for us. It'll give us a better draft pick.
Put that in consideration. The
Giants are going to come out and play extra hard during that game because we want, especially if the Bears are looking kind of slow that year, or that season. We're going to want to knock them down even more. But maybe they're getting a top 3 pick. And if we're not sold on Daniel Jones, we can draft a quarterback in the first round or do another trade. Or, man, we got so much first-round stock. It's ridiculous. And just forget first round. We got draft stock. We got so much draft stock right now. I'm looking forward to the next season, to be honest. But I'm just hyped that we got football next. But I got the Giants winning that game. I think offensively the Bears are a joke. I'm sorry, man. I know that Montgomery had his first 1,000-yard season last season. They're going to be getting Tariq Cohen back. And we know Allen Robinson can ball. Quarterback is still a question mark. Got Andy Dalton over there who did some things last year in the NFC East with the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm just not sold. And who knows, by this time, we might have a rookie quarterback here already playing. If Andy Dalton don't get it together.
Chicago's a huge question mark. Huge question mark.
Kind of like Atlanta to me a little bit.
Especially at this stage in the end of the season. We have no idea they're going to be. I can't forget, they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs last year, and there's no telling if Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney become this sort of brand new, young, awesome connection, and that defense plays like that defense, they could be a good team at that point. Or Matt Nagy could be fired. Justin Fields could be running for his life. There's no way to tell.
Is Nick Foles still over there?
He is their third-string quarterback.
That's crazy. This dude had a statue in Philly, and now he's a third-string quarterback in Chicago. It's wild. It's really wild. Any chance y'all are going to be in NY?
That's January Big Hurt.
9th? Yeah, that's Big Hurt. Shout out Big Hurt one time. Definitely a chance. I'm thinking about a lot of content creators I've been in a group thread with on Twitter are definitely going to that game. I know the Hub's going, Ash Money's going, a few others are going to be going. It's definitely a game. And let there be like something on the line there.
Something on the line, like winner wins the division.
Oh, worst case scenario, I'm at least going up for the tailgate. Yeah, at least, because man, tickets at Giant Stadium be expensive, bro. They be real expensive. But I'm looking for the plug right now. I'm hoping to get the plug to get us in there and be able to get some seats close. Yeah, we'll see, man. Peter Rosenberg's out there. It's a couple people out there I'm about to reach out to. Like, hey, bro, somebody?
I'm authentic.
Yeah, it's authentic. Yeah, that's how I got the Nike package. They're like, authentic. Yeah, addressed to the boy.
So I have you guys winning that game
against the Bears.
Yeah.
I
think that's a question mark that I don't know the answer to right now, and I'm gonna give you guys the benefit of the doubt and give you guys that W.
Yeah, now something's not adding up on my end. When I'm looking at my L's and I'm looking at my prediction, something's not adding up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's it. All right. So I don't know if this is how I said it on air, but going into the last week of the season, week 18, against the Washington football team, I think that's a game where Washington is going to be clawing, trying to get into the playoffs or trying to salvage their season. Because like I told y'all, I got Washington going 6-11, and entering that game, I had them at 5-11. So what I'm going to say is I think that late in the season, I think Washington comes into New York with New York pretty much already clinching a playoff spot. I got Washington winning that game. I know Giants Nation don't want to hear that one time, but I got the Giants taking an L. I think Washington's just going to be like, just on all cylinders, maybe with a new quarterback, maybe with Heineke in there. Samuel's healthy. They're going to have their best team on the field that day, where I think the Giants are going to kind of be like in a position where they know they're going to be in the playoffs here. So I got the Giants finishing out the season week 18 with a close loss to the Washington football team. And, oh, man, Bluegrass, I appreciate that, fam. Definitely really appreciate you checking out the album. And salute, bro. Salute. That's love. I really appreciate that. I knew that was going to happen. I was like, he didn't click it. I clicked it. He clicked it. The boy, that mouse. Yo, this kid's mouse is so broken. Like, he's like, it's fine.
No, that was just because we both clicked it at the same time.
Nah, I waited for you like 8 seconds. I ain't going to front.
I was late
this is the production right here with Awthentik and The Beard. When he was in studio, I'd have been like, hey. And now he's at home, so I can't really give him them hand gestures. But yeah, like I said, man, Giants taking L there, man. But I got the Giants finishing the season 9-8 and winning the NFC East at 9-8.
I have you guys winning that game. But unfortunately, that only puts you guys up to a total of 7-10 final record.
Okay, so depending on how things go, they can maybe sneaky do a little wild card action at 7-10 on your books. See, this is what I liked about the Giants prediction is that me and you we're only 2 games apart. You know, which is good. It's shown that we're not being optimistic, we're not being pessimistic, but we're keeping it authentic and we're being realistic. All right? And even with the Washington schedule, I know we kind of far off because I just think we're far off because you picked Washington 1 game too many. When you say 10 wins, I think you really should have said 9 wins. As a fan, nobody's about to be like, yeah, we're going to have a losing season. I get it. I'm not trying to say the Giants are going to be 8-9 or anything crazy like that. But, yeah, we're not too far off, you know. 6, maybe I could have gave y'all 1 more win, which I really should have. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome for Notre Dame. Shout out Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the building. The Beard needs it.
We're getting close. We're getting close.
He needs it, man. We can't have no Notre Dame games during podcasts. This boy heart beating.
I mean, I didn't even check it because we were up 18. And then I
thought it was a done deal.
Somebody put in the chat, it was 38-38. I was like, what?
Yeah, Simon, I'm with you, you know, 4 games apart. But like I said, I think that he was 1 game too high on them, and I'm probably 1 game too low on them. There's definitely some games here that I picked that I could see Washington winning. The Las Vegas game is one of them. You guys could definitely beat Las Vegas. Who knows? You could maybe sweep the Giants or sweep Philly. I gave Philly a win against you guys. So those are a couple games I feel like y'all could win. You could also come out the gate and surprise the Chargers and get a W there too. So I'm not going to rule out 10-7 like completely, but I think maybe I was 1 game underestimated. You're 1 game overestimated. Maybe.
I think on all of these schedules and in looking at any team in general this early in the season, there's always going to be like a 2 to 3 game buffer on either side of the spectrum. You know, just because we're basically going off of. I mean, it's not all unknown because you know the rosters. You've seen some preseason. You know how some of these players played last year. You know, like you see improvements. You see losses or additions or subtractions to rosters. So you kind of have an idea, but you never know until the product is put on the field. You know, so there's always going to be a 2 to 3 game buffer.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I somebody had a comment there. I just highlighted. Road Kevin to PRF. Yeah, like Dallas, Washington football team, New York Giants, all are somewhere around 9 wins. You know, I think that's it. That's really it. Based on health, you know, yeah, people got to stay healthy. And he says Philly is at 6 plus or minus 2. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And it wouldn't surprise me if Philly was in the mix late in the season either. I mean, I know a lot of people in Giants Nation, you know, I'm always an entertainer in Bad Dogs chats. Shout out to those guys. 2 of the best doing this here in the Giants community. But there are 2 that are definitely not high on Jalen Hurts. You know, they think Jalen Hurts is straight garbaggio. I don't think Jalen Hurts is like some, you know, world-class quarterback, but I do think that he might be able to get it done. And he showed you that early. When you thrust a kid into the game against New Orleans Saints for his first real start and he goes out there and wins the game for you, that's something to be said.
That was a great game.
Yeah. His completion percentage is the only thing that really makes you look at him and be like, wow, like you at 52%, but let him grow, you know, like Josh Allen was 52% his rookie season too and only bumped it up to 59. And then now we're looking at a guy who's a top 5 quarterback after the 2020 season.
And the other thing is too, is it's like, I know I don't want to come off as making excuses for players, right? But in reality, it's not an excuse. It's real, you know, and I think that Jalen Hurts didn't have the best wide receivers last year, and you know, and that has a little bit to do with it. So Devontae Smith addition could be huge for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles team as a whole for sure.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what too. Looking at the preseason tape from Devontae Smith, right? A lot of people are like, oh, he dropped the first 2 or whatever, you know, and they're like, oh, he's a bum, blah blah. Just go look at how he's coming off the line. Go look at how much trouble them cornerbacks is having with him coming off the line. That boy is fast, and his hand swiping when he's coming off these routes right off the line, he is quick. Oh, that's awesome. Shout out to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Got the W, 41-38. Appreciate that, Big Blue in the Bronx. Hey. That's a big dub, man. You did not want to sneak out with an L there. That would have been a big problem.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, that would have been a big problem, man. So shout out to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I know you been a big supporter, big fan for a long time since we were kids. You remember that big-ass pillow you had, that Notre Dame pillow when we had pillow fights, man?
I wish I still had that. There's some Notre Dame stuff that I still have from when I was a kid, and there's some stuff that I really wish I still had.
You still got that little football? Hey, yo, that football like 38 years old. That football old.
This thing has been through some games. Like, I mean, there's like war marks and all types of stuff. There's still white. Remember, I used to have those white closing doors in my closet in the room upstairs in my mom's house. Yeah, there's some marks from being thrown against that after a couple of games. There's some definite the Reggie Bush game. Oh yeah. Bad stuff.
But good
stuff. Good stuff too.
Good stuff today, man. Shout out to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That's a big W. But yeah.
For
so
sure.
I mean, we pretty much got through the Washington football team schedule. Look at this stream going all long, 2 hours 35 minutes.
And look at been 50 people the whole time, man. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Giants fans, Eagles fans, Cowboys fans, Washington fans. Everybody here having a good old time.
Yeah, I like Road Kevin says got Montana's signature on it. You used to have a Montana jersey. I used to rock that. He was number 3 at Notre Dame, right?
I still have it.
Yeah.
The one I wish I still had was that Notre Dame hockey jersey. That thing was sick.
Oh, that was fire.
In middle school.
It looked like the Mighty Ducks joint a little bit, the way it was cut. Yeah, that joint was fire.
Man.
So we've busted down the New York Giants schedule. We busted down the Washington football team schedule. The Beard had Washington football team at 10-7. I had the Washington football team at 6-11. I kind of want to change that, on the record to be more of like a 7-10-ish, but I just wanted to stick with the graphics, and how we committed to before we got on air and whatnot. Shout out to the new lower thirds. Them Jones fire.
Ooh, I had to put it up really quick.
Love them Jones, man. Love them Jones. But yeah, let's get into these other 2 schedules real quick. We'll kind of fly through these. Maybe we can get out of here by midnight. Since my man Nate talks football, talking about y'all kids and whatnot. I know we got Labor Day weekend here. We got a holiday weekend. Nobody got nothing to do tomorrow.
Nowhere to be.
So I'm here, man. I'm not tired yet, man. I'm chilling. It's really good to be back. Good to see the stream holding up. As far as the audio end on the Beard side, we doing some new things over there, man. Entering season 3 of Awthentik and The Beard. I challenge y'all to go back and look at the progression of the show over the years from season 1 to season 2. Season 1, where we were doing all the edits in-house, taking like 15 to 20 hours to do each show, hour and a half. It was ridiculous. To then suggestion from the Beard to go live after going live on his channel over the years, where he was doing auctions and doing a bunch of live content. So if you're not subscribed to the Beard's channel over the years, make sure you do that, because he's got a ton of memorabilia. He's a reseller and an antiques collector for a living. Got just the greatest stuff. He does an auction every Monday, I believe, right?
Yep.
So he's always got them gems, man. And if you a fan of another team and you need something like fresh, vintage vibes, definitely don't be afraid to reach out, holler at him in the DM. He's gotten me, all my banners, hats, pennants, like just all kind of stuff New York Giants based. He got me the plaque that was from the Super Bowl from 2011. Just a bunch of gems, man. I know there's something else in there I'm missing. The book. Men Amongst Giants or whatever, or Giants Amongst Men or whatever, the book, which I still haven't read. I really got to dig in and read that book. Y'all got so many dope books that I haven't read yet. I got the Decoded joint, the Jay-Z joint that I haven't read yet. I got to dive into these books, man. I've been just a little bit busy. But definitely make sure y'all subscribe. Just search Over the Years on YouTube. You'll see his channel, man. He's live all the time. This is one of the hardest working people I know, straight up. This dude, we're about to be doing the podcast 3 to 5 days a week, and he also does like 3 to 5 on his channel with Over the Years. You got Over the Years Sports. He's reselling. How many orders did you ship out just the other day before we did the setup?
Oh, when you were here, it was 44 packages, 66 items in 44 packages I dropped off at the post office.
Yeah, so the man is definitely on his grizzly. You got to commend that. Shout out to the Beard one time, man. Definitely inspiring seeing what you're doing with Over the Years. Make sure y'all go sub. We're trying to just keep these channels growing. But without further ado, man, let's go to this. We're going to go to Dallas next or Philly? I just kind of want to run through these real quick, and then we'll get to our prediction.
We'll run through Dallas' schedule first.
You going to take care of that?
Yep.
Okay, got you.
I was waiting for them fire lower thirds to cool down a little bit.
I know them lower thirds fire. Shout out to my girl who helped me design those lower thirds. You know, I'm like, should we go team colors? I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, team color look fire. And then we kind of removed some things and just kind of set on a more plain look. And I like the way those came out. We just did those last night actually. And she just got back from Florida. I know she's tired. She's been sleeping, and she's probably still here in the stream though. Shout out to my shorty.
Listen,
so
I think Dallas might have the most question marks.
Oh, like as far as games that are like toss-ups?
Not even just
kinda?
the games, but just as a team in general.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. I mean, we don't know where Dak's going to be. Is Ezekiel Elliott going to return to his like year 2, year 3 kind of, form? We don't know. Are they going to move to Tony Pollard a little bit more? Maybe 50-50 on the carries. Can that defense upgrade? And
I
be
mean,
better?
what did you say to me earlier? You said they were historically.
Oh yeah, they were like historically one of the worst defenses ever. So they kind of got to get better. I don't see them getting any worse. But yeah, without their quarterback on the field, without Dak Prescott, I'm sure that hurt the defense. They were out there a lot more than they probably should have been, and didn't have the talent out there that they would hope to have out there on the field. And I forget who it was that was the defensive coordinator. Man, they should have fired him a lot earlier. He was struggling. Yeah, Mike Nolan. He was struggling, and now they brought in homie from Atlanta. He was a head coach over there in Atlanta for a second.
Mike Smith.
Mike Smith. I think it's Mike Smith. I think so. One of you Cowboys fans in the chat, make sure to let us know who that is. I was telling the Beard this. I was like, bro, like, I don't even really be trying to be talking about the Cowboys and the Eagles too much because, like, we're based out of Washington, D.C., for those that don't know. So I do get a good bit of Washington football team coverage, and I'm just knee-deep invested into the New York Giants. I mean, I'm watching everything. I'm subscribed to everybody.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. That's who it was. Dan Quinn. Thank you for that, Big Blue in the Bronx. So I know a little bit about the rosters with Dallas and stuff. I know they're going to be getting a little bit more healthy on that offensive line, and that was a major issue for them last year too, especially with the backup quarterbacks in there. But looking at this schedule, man,
and they lost his name already, just Zach Martin for week
Zach
1
Martin,
COVID.
Yeah. So
week 1,
which that's the kind of good
guard.
one because you're looking at the Bucs like, man, it's probably an L anyway. So go and take that L, get your rest. Hey, what's up? Philly Flipper in the building
is
one
in
time.
the building.
Good to see some Eagles fans
brother?
in here, man. What's up, Philly Flipper? All y'all welcome, bro. We ain't one of them. We ain't one of them podcasts or one of them shows where it's like if you like the Eagles, we can't boogie with you. That ain't it over here. I'm from DC and never been a fan of the Skins. Never. Well, maybe a little bit, but never really. I've been a Giants fan since about 1988. So we go back. And yeah, root for the team you want to root for and root how you want to root for that team. I'm never going to tell you how to be a fan. I love the entertainer and Bad Dog always say that. Like, yo, well, you root for them how you want. You think these guys is dope? They dope. Whatever. I don't care. Root for your team how you want. So you definitely welcome, man. He said, talk to me week 4. You always welcome here, man. Win or loss for your Eagles, man. So glad to see you pulling up in here. We still got just about 40 in here in the building. But looking at this schedule, I'm going to just kind of briefly run through this. For me, I got and I think I'm thinking a little bit more glass half full with the Cowboys getting back these players, especially Dak Prescott, and I'm looking for Ezekiel Elliott to really play off of Dak Prescott. They are that duo that kind of came into the league together and have been both doing their thing since they got into the league. I think Dak Prescott is right on the cusp of being an elite quarterback in the NFL. He's just right outside of it. I think him and Josh Allen are those kind of guys that are just like they're pretty elite when healthy. And Josh Allen doesn't really deal with too many injuries, but Dak Prescott didn't either until that leg got broke by Logan Ryan. So I like both of them as quarterbacks. I think that they're in that range of like 4 to 12, maybe 5 to 12. Dak Prescott maybe being a little bit lower, just being that Josh Allen just had like a really, really incredible, exciting season with the Bills. But I got them going 9-8. I'm sorry, I got them going 8-9. And with losses, I got them starting off the season with a loss to the Bucs. Starting off the season with a loss to the Chargers, so they'll be 0-2. I got them beating the Eagles, beating the Panthers week 3, week 4. Week 5, I had them beating us, I believe. And then we were going to take the second game. The Patriots would be an L. The Vikings, I think that's an interesting team that's on their schedule that's not on Washington football team schedule or the New York Giants football or the New York Giants schedule. So I think that, I don't know. I like the Vikings. That offense was really, really good last year. Their running back situation is so awesome. Their defense was down at the bottom of the league, and I think that's why they weren't in a lot of games. But you're looking at Justin Jefferson, who's just coming off of breaking Randy Moss's record for yards. You got Adam Thielen. What's his name got hurt, though? I think he got hurt. The tight end. What's his name?
The tight end, yeah.
I think he's going to be entering the year with an injury.
That's going to hurt them. Yeah, torn meniscus, I believe.
Oh, yeah, so he's going to be out for the season.
Is he out for the whole season or just?
Oh, torn meniscus. Why did I think when you said torn meniscus, I was thinking
MCL
Achilles
or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he'll be. I think he'll be back.
So a little more pop now again from you. Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks he'll be out for, I believe.
6 to 8. So around that time, that's week 8. He probably won't be back. But I still got Minnesota beating Dallas there. I got them beating the Broncos, I believe. Yeah, I got them beating the Broncos, beating the Falcons. You look at the first 10 weeks of Dallas Cowboys schedule, I think they got the easier look.
100%.
Just like a lot of easier games up front. Even the Chargers is a winnable game. Eagles, Panthers, Vikings winnable, but I don't got them winning. Broncos winnable, Falcons winnable. So when they go into week 11 there, I got them losing to the Chiefs. I got them beating the Raiders because I just think that they'll match up well as long as they're healthy. I think they can beat the Raiders. A loss to the oh, man, did I have them beating the Saints? I had them loss to the Saints. Okay, I just wrote it different. I got a loss to the Saints, a loss to Washington, and a loss to New York. Then I got them beating Washington, and I got them losing to the Cardinals and beating the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 18 to finish them off at 8-9. How are you feeling about that?
We're almost exactly the same. I'm trying to figure out which game probably we have different. I got them going 9-8. I think they're a tale of two seasons. I got them starting off the season 6-3 in their first 9 games. You know, like you said, that their schedule was probably I think looking at the schedules now, I think the first 2 to 3 weeks for each NFC East team is pretty brutal. Yeah. You know, we all have one of those AFC matchups that's pretty tough. And then, you know, Dallas starts the season off with Tampa Bay. You know, so I think they're going to start off 0-2, then they're going to go on a nice little 4-game stretch where they'll win 4 in a row. Yeah. I also had them losing to the Vikings and then winning against the Broncos and Falcons before going to the Chiefs and then a win at the Raiders and then hitting that December stretch of the Dallas, what they usually do, and losing all of their games.
They say what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah. I got them losing every single game in December except for against the football team and against the Eagles.
This is a good point that somebody brought up here in the chat. I'm just looking for it. It was about the matchup last year between the Cowboys and the Vikings. I know I just saw that one. Oh yeah, right here from Road Kevin to PRF. They took the Vikes last year with their third-string quarterback, which they did, right? But if you look at that game, it was 31-28. So that's a pretty high-scoring game. And most teams that score 28 points, you're looking to come out of that with the victory. So I just think that with the Vikings, they'll be a little bit more improved on the defensive side of the ball. You got to find a way to just get a little better. I want to say they were ranked 28th in defense last year. If they can just get a little bit better and hold teams to around 20, they'll beat teams that are like average, middle-of-the-road teams that are supposed to get 8 or 9 wins. And I could see them winning. I mean, Cook is just an incredible running back. Did he play in that last game?
He might not have. I think he was hurt. He was hurt.
I think he was
missed some time last year, right?
Oh, no. He went off that game. Kirk Cousins was 22 of 30 for 314 yards and 3 touchdowns. How do you lose? God, if Daniel Jones does that and we lose, I'm pissed. Dalvin Cook had 27 carries for 115 yards and a touchdown. And you remember that was the game where Adam Thielen and CeeDee Lamb went back and forth with those 2 maybe catch of the year.
Oh, that's
CeeDee Lamb did the one where he was pretty much laid out on the futon and just like caught the ball horizontal. And then Thielen came back and made that incredible catch as well, too. That was a really good matchup of offenses. I was digging that game. I remember that game really well.
Really bad
Dalvin Cook added 5 catches for 45 yards, a 9 average per catch, which is really good. Justin Jefferson, 3 catches for 86 yards, 28.7 yards a catch. He had a touchdown as well, and Thielen had 2 touchdowns. And they still lost. This is literally a flawless game from your offense, and you still lose. It's really ridiculous. Your defense got to do something. But maybe they were scoring a little fast there, too, and, their defense might have been on the field a little bit. Who knows? Because Jefferson, 3 catches for 86 is crazy. But, yeah, I still got the Vikings winning that game, I think. And, man, Dallas is a hard team to judge, I feel like, this year. Because Dak's coming back, and it's like, when Dak left, the Cowboys were the front runner in the NFC East, I feel like. You know, like they just really were. Entering last season, I thought Dallas was going to be a team that was going to be right there. And they just, you know, more and more the year went on with these backup quarterback situations in the defense, they just fell apart, really. And then the Giants, you know, handled them after they were on a couple-game winning streak late in the season, because we talked about this too, The Beard. Entering week 17 of last season, the last game, Dallas was playing the Giants. Philly was playing Washington. Dallas had 6 wins.
Yeah.
Had they have won that game, I think they would have still not made the playoffs, because I think Washington had the tiebreaker. But let's say they win that game. People are looking at Dallas a lot differently this year. They're looking at a team that tied record-wise with the Washington football team and can play with the best teams, at least in their division. But the Giants coming out, and to me, that was one of Daniel Jones' best games, that last game of the season. Daniel Jones, there was one play where he scrambled out towards the sideline and made a dart on the sideline to Darius Slayton. And just beautiful, like 18 yards is what I want to see more from Daniel Jones. But yeah, Dallas is, they were doing that with a backup quarterback. I was one who was saying that Andy Dalton was cooked last year, and he was proving me wrong game in and game out towards the second half of the season, and played really well, man. So, I mean, with that said, I got the Cowboys at 8-9, losses to Tampa Bay, Chargers, Patriots, Vikings, Chiefs, Saints, Washington football team, Cardinals, and the New York Giants late in the season. Those are the L's I got for the Cowboys. They finish at 8-9. And you got them finishing at
9-8.
At 9-8. I hate that.
Oh, I don't like it, but
3-1 in December since Dak has been the starter. I like that. That's good.
It's gonna be. I mean,
for those that don't know, Monique is a
one.
Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. I mean, I like Michael Parsons. I think it was a great draft pick for them, but I think if Dak would have been like not had the shoulder injury, and you know maybe they made one more move on defense, I think a lot of that Washington hype nationally would have easily pushed over to Dallas. But I think there's still just a lot of question marks surrounding that team heading into the season.
What surprised me about the Cowboys, too, is that, like, when the defense was playing so awful, they didn't really make no, in-season moves.
No.
Yeah, which is puzzling. I mean, they had, like, the worst defense in the league.
Yeah, it was just horrendous. Like, they didn't fire the defensive coordinator. You know, they're stubborn. You know how Dallas can be, man. They're stubborn. Yep. It's not like they're like. It's weird because they're not like one of the powerhouses in major sports that people hate. The Lakers, the Yankees. You know, they don't. Those sort of powerhouse teams that everybody hates, they go out and they do whatever they can do to get the guys that they need to get to take them to the championship. But
for sure,
they're a little bit more stubborn with the way that they spend their money. Yeah, and Monique said it too. He rarely makes moves during the season.
Yeah, was that the
football's
defensive
like that a
coordinator,
lot.
He was fired after the season, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people within the conference are kind of low on Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy was a guy who I thought was a candidate for the Giants job when it was all going down. If you look back, Mike McCarthy, when he got to Green Bay the first season, they were healthy, and he went 8-8 his first season, and then within, I want to say, 1 or 2 seasons, they were in the Super Bowl. He really turned that franchise around. So I don't think that I know it blew up there in the end, and a lot of the blame went to Mike McCarthy with Green Bay, but I do think that Mike McCarthy is the kind of guy who he's going to do everything he can to get his team wins, and I think he's going to adjust. And that whole like in season not making moves thing might change, because I know Mike McCarthy was not happy with that defense last season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
tough.
But
I think Mike. Right. I'm curious to watch Micah Parsons. I want to see. I know like that was somebody that was kind of like on a lot of the radar for all of the NFC East teams. At one point or another, heading into that draft. Because he was that good of a defensive player. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, and before we move on, I like this too. Philly Flipper says, easy to coach when Rodgers audibles every play. This is facts, but let's not forget about the personnel. Coaches have a lot to do with the personnel. The whole time that Aaron Rodgers has been with Green Bay, they've had stud people playing offensive positions. Jennings, Driver, you got Devontae, who was a 3 at one point on that team. Jones at running back. I want to say you got 2 great years out of Lacey, even when Aaron Rodgers was there. There were 1,000-yard seasons from the big boy. You know, they've kept talent. Tight end, didn't they have Jermichael Finley?
Yo, it's crazy when you say some of these names. You're just like, how? Like, what? They just
big talent, can't win a Super Bowl.
Gone.
And when you look
gone.
at with the drafting of Jordan Love, before they drafted him, I want to say they had went like 8 seasons without drafting an offensive player in the first round. Yeah. You know, so they focused on the defense for him. And I like Aaron Rodgers, but when you look back at last season, I mean, like, the dude is I won't call it like I called it this last season, so I'm gonna call it this season. He's choking when it's time to really win the game. You know, his numbers were ridiculous last season, 44-3 or something like that. It was like, dog, like, just show up. You know, the Bucs were a tough challenge. They fell apart there at the end, but there was that play about 10 yards out from the end zone on third down, I believe it was, where he had that opportunity to just run it in there. Yeah. And sometimes here's the difference between John Elway and Aaron Rodgers. You remember when John Elway, when he won the Super Bowl when he was old, and he did the Willie Beeman flip spin at the goal line? Yeah. Dog, that shows you somebody that's like, young, I'm not going to put this. First down, they didn't get it. Second down, they didn't get it. They passed it 3 times in the red zone on that drive. So third down, bro, if you see it and it ain't there, I want to see you lay it out all on the line there and try to win the game for your team. Aaron Rodgers don't want to take that hit for a win. Let's keep it real. He don't want to take that hit for a win. He might be the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Arguably, you could definitely argue that. But when it comes down to it, he's not going to go make that play where he's going to put himself on the line. He's looking to step out of bounds and dodge somebody. So, you know, I like him. I think he's a fantastic quarterback. But, yeah, he definitely audibles every play. He's one of the best at the line. But we got to commend Mike McCarthy for keeping the talent around him as well. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to put a cap on that. On the Cowboys schedule there. You got them at 9-8. I got them at 8-9. I mean, we right there on that one. That's a 1-game difference really right there. So, I mean, yeah, hopefully that's kind of close.
That can go either way.
I feel
2 to 3 games difference. They could be 12-6.
Yeah.
They could be, 7-10.
Every time we say these records with the added games, I'm just like, wait, what?
It's so weird.
Yo,
I had to count it in my head.
I don't even know how to react to it, bro. It's just the weirdest thing ever, yo. Like, it's so weird. But let's go into this last schedule. Man, this has been a really fun stream, man. If y'all enjoying yourselves in the chat, let me see them biceps, man. Left side.
Strong side.
Let's get it, man. So the Eagles schedule, I had to piece together their little schedule because the people on their graphics team are Garbaggio. They need Awthentik on the graphics team, but I wouldn't take that job anyway.
Look, Awthentik don't say Garbaggio when it comes to music or athletes, but when it comes to graphics.
If we're talking about the NFL, man, this is the highest caliber. You saw what the Giants and the Washington football team did.
This is another NFC East team that I think is going to struggle out of the gates here. I have them starting out 0-4. I mean, maybe Carolina might be the team that throws a wrench in all of NFC East teams because I don't think I have any. I think I have each one of us beating Carolina.
I know we acting like Carolina's going to be garbage, but, with CMC there, he could get him a couple W's against some teams in our division for sure.
And then I have them losing like everybody else to Tampa Bay. I gave them a win against the Raiders, and I gave them a win against the Lions.
That's generous.
That is generous. Now, then they go on another 4-game losing streak. So they're going to have 2 4-game losing streaks this season.
I think I gave them the win against the Raiders, too.
I gave them a win against the Jets. There's that
the
could
Jets
be
are going to be straight trash.
And then they close out with losing 3 out of their last 4 with 1 win against the Giants. So, I mean, listen, I'm not one of these people who thinks that the Eagles are going to be horrible, but somehow I only ended up giving them 5 wins. And I am also a believer in Jalen Hurts. Maybe not necessarily this year, but even in the future, I think Jalen Hurts has the potential to be a good starting quarterback in the National Football League. That being said, this team has so many question marks, and this is a completely new coaching staff, and they've had the same coaching staff for a nice period of time in Philadelphia. So this is a completely new look team, offense, You know, how are they going to be able to utilize Miles Sanders? How good can their defense be? How good can Jalen Hurts be? These are the questions that are going to be most important. But I got the Eagles going 5-12, and I think that is another thing that can go back and forth. Shout out to Bark Nasty 21 in the building.
Hell yeah, that's my dude right there. Big time Giants fan. Giants Nation in the building. The Beard had the Giants going 7 and something.
The Giants went 7-10.
7-10. I had them going 9-8. I got them 9-8 with losses to the Broncos to open the year, the Saints, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Rams, and Washington football team. Diggy's in the building. What's up, Diggy? I was talking about the craziness that was going on your stream earlier, bro. Like the whole blasphemy talk against the Kansas City Chiefs offense, man. Y'all was killing me. I'm going to have you on the show. We're going to have to talk about this again. Y'all was killing me. But yeah, shout out to Diggy. If you're not subbed up to Diggy, man, he's got an awesome channel, man. New York Giants. I'd say as far as breaking news goes, he's up there. He's at the top. He's at the top, man. He does great assessment on new players, old players, breaking news, all of that stuff. So make sure y'all go support Diggy. With the Eagles here, man, yeah, like I feel you. You know, I don't have them as like a horrible team either, but like granted, the Giants won 6 games last year, and I didn't think we were a horrible team. And I'm right there with you. I got the Eagles only winning 5 games. I gave them I gave them L's against Atlanta, L's against the 49ers, L against Dallas, L against the Chiefs. I gave them their first win against the Carolina Panthers week 5. And then a loss to the Bucks, a loss to the I did have them beating the Las Vegas Raiders. Did I have the Lions beating them? That's wild. Okay, no. I had them beating the Lions. My bad. I had them beating the Lions. So that's 2-3 right there. And then I got them losing to Chargers, Broncos, Saints, Giants, Washington football team, Giants, Dallas. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, man, the Eagles got a lot of question marks, a lot of new faces in the building. Their coach was looking so suspect in his first meeting, you know, trying to sound like our guy, you know, dog, just keep it cool, you know. And
he
I think
said something funny, right? Like he had like a
he was the kneecaps guy, right?
No, that was
Detroit. That was
Detroit.
That was Detroit. He said something crazy though. I can't remember what it was.
Nah,
he said something crazy.
He did.
But I'm with you though. I do think that Jalen Hurts can be a decent quarterback in the NFL, and let me tell you why. You remember the conversation we were having before the first draft with the people in the Zoom that we were with? And I brought up the fact that, like, yeah, to win in the NFL at quarterback, you need to have a A1 wide receiver. You need somebody out there who is at least on the verge of being an A1 wide receiver. The guys that we talked about was Deshaun Watson with Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller, who are kind of like a 1A, 1B. None of them are like a dominant one to me. And we talked about Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, you know, where he didn't have a number 1 guy last year. Hollywood's going down there stretching the field, but, like, they really didn't have a number 1 guy. Like, Snead was out there just blocking, right? But one thing I really realized was that to be able to excel in the NFL and not have a A1 wide receiver, you need to be a running quarterback. And homie Muhammad's nephew brought this up. He was like, look at Mike Vick. Look how Mike Vick did. Mike Vick came in the league with Roddy White, and then if you look at all the other wide receivers that were over there in Atlanta, there was poor talent over there, bro. It was poor talent at wide receiver over there. So for me, it makes me realize that, yeah, these guys that can excel and win games, they do it on their legs as well, because then you can keep a defense off balance. I think Jalen Hurts, if he can find a way to get Devontae Smith to be the guy, it'll up his productivity. The completion percentage should go from like 52 to at least in the low 60s, maybe high 50 range for a second-year quarterback. We can't forget that he's only played in a couple games. It's not like he played a whole half of a season. He only has like 4 or 5 starts or 4 or 5 games where he actually played in. So I do think they'll be an improved team. The 5-12 thing is like, if Devontae Smith can ball out and Miles Sanders can be the guy that Doug Peterson didn't want him to be, because Miles Sanders just wouldn't get the carries.
Yeah.
He'd go 10 carries, do like 60 yards, 70 yards, and then he wouldn't get carries, and then he might fumble. We can't forget that he did have a little bit of a fumble issue. right? So there's that. Shout out to my man Bluegrass in the building.
$5 super chat. We appreciate Bluegrass. Great to have y'all back and running, Night Fam. It's great to be back, and it's great to have all of you here with us. We appreciate it. Have a good night, brother, and don't
Definitely,
forget to
man.
check
Have a good
us out
night, yo.
on Tuesday.
Big supporter of Awthentik and The Beard. Yeah, and y'all don't forget, this Tuesday we're doing our real opening show. This was kind of just like a little test run to just kind of feel things out and go over some old information with the schedule and kind of catch things back up with the off season and whatnot. But Tuesday is really our first official show. And then Thursday, we're going to be doing our previews right before the Dallas Cowboys kick off against the Tampa Bay Bucks, which is going to be a really good time. I can't wait. I'm going to have the jitters that day. That's going to be really fun. Feels good to get back in the swing of things with y'all. Even before this stream, I kind of had a little bit of jitters, just like, yeah, we need to get back. I'm very excited to get back. Very anxious, not even jitters, just anxious. But yeah, man, back to the Jalen Hurts thing, man.
Yeah,
I really do think he could be a good quarterback.
Yeah, is that I think that you brought up a great point with Devontae Smith, and as far as like, you know, increasing the completion percentage, right? Because you got to remember that they have a relationship of playing together before, you know, and like that's kind of important to have, you know, especially like if you have somebody who you've played quarterback before, you know, quarterback wide receiver relationship with before, you know, that timing is something that, you know, you already got an early jump on. Obviously, you know, it's going to be a little bit different because the routes and the plays are going to be a little bit different, you know, than what you played before. Yeah. But you still have that idea of, okay, this wide receiver is going to, you know, this is how he comes out of his breaks, you know, and this is the move that he's going to make before he makes the break. Yeah, those little things. And like, just to have that sort of safety blanket, you know, that builds the confidence up. You know, quarterback is so much like a shooter in basketball, like a pitcher in baseball, you know, like you got to get that rhythm. It's such a rhythm thing, you know, and like those 3 and outs will kill your rhythm. But when you have somebody, a safety blanket with somebody that you played with before, and you can have those completions to kind of like build up that sort of rhythm and then move from there, it's huge. So that I think that's a great point that you brought up for sure.
Yeah, that's real. And what you're saying there about those nuances and those kind of familiarities that the quarterback will have with the wide receiver, that's something I kind of overlooked, you know, and I think that, they might start off and have chemistry that guys like Daniel Jones and Kenny Galladay are looking to have, you know, which they haven't had the time to really build it yet. Whereas, you know, Hurts and Devontae Smith could have a little bit of that already. You know, you kind of know, hey, this guy comes out the break, out of the route faster than most guys. You can know where to put the ball, and it might make him excel a little bit faster. But I do think that Hurts will struggle a little bit this year, just a little bit. But yeah, like Diggy is saying right here, he says Smith will get him some easy completions. And that goes back to what I was saying just a little earlier. Like Smith off the line, I'm telling you, it reminded me of Terry McLaurin a little bit. And like not the way he's coming off the line, but how when Terry McLaurin was a rookie, when I watched him come off the line as a route runner, he looked like a guy that had already been in the league. Devontae Smith off the line, I mean, they trying to play press coverage. They not even getting hands on him. The couple drops that he had, one of those drops, man, that pass from Flacco was a little bit off on the back shoulder a little bit. Guys going to drop passes. It's going to happen every now and again. You know, you want to see them get that out of the way in the preseason, and hopefully they've striding if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan during the regular season. I will say this with our prediction records here too. I've been paying attention to a lot of Philadelphia Eagles content creators and streamers on YouTube, Joey Shakes being one of them, and a lot of them, and Philly 500 being another. A lot of them are really high on the Eagles. They think that the Eagles are going to win the division. It's kind of crazy that everyone outside of the Eagles nation looks at the Eagles like they're going to be a really bad team. But I like to get the gauge, you know, from the people that are really following the team. I told you this off air. Like, I really like to follow people who follow the team because there's information about the New York Giants that I know as a fan of the team that people who are like, let's say on the West Coast, maybe fans of the Cardinals wouldn't know about the Giants, about players who are depth players or scheme players and things like that. You know, so I do like that I get this inside information from these Philadelphia Eagles content creators, and I think only time will tell if they might be right, that maybe the Eagles are ready for a bounce-back season. If you look in the past, like 4 or 5 years, the Eagles have done fairly well. You know, they're always in the mix. We can't forget they were just removed from the Super Bowl in 2017. You know, granted, this is a whole new roster, a whole new staff, all that. But it won't surprise me if they're somewhere in the mix with these other teams that we have around the 8-9 game kind of, you know.
I mean, realistically, it could be a season of everybody's at that 7 to 9 all over again, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
everybody
it really could do that again.
NFC East could all be in that jumble between 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins. Like, you know,
I
where
really
it's,
would not doubt it, bro. I mean, like, it's not going to surprise me if the Giants are bad or if, you know, Washington football team is bad or if the Eagles are good or if Dallas is good or if Dallas is bad. It's like, yo, when I see the product on the field week 1, I'm going to get a great assessment. Week 2, I think I'm going to know where things are going because the schedule gives you a lot of different options in these first 2 games to kind of gauge your team with different styles against different teams. You know, seeing Washington football team go against the Chargers, who wasn't a great team last year. I feel like they only had like 5 wins, maybe 6 wins, you know. Like, we know that they're supposed to get better. We know that offense is high-powered. So to see your defense go up against that, it's going to be a fantastic matchup. Same thing goes for the Broncos against the New York Giants. It's like, yo, the Broncos offensively, you know, the wide receivers didn't do a lot of damage. These guys, the COVID situation last year, had a wide receiver playing quarterback. You got a new quarterback now coming from Carolina. You know, Drew Lock, they don't got the faith in him. I thought he could be a decent quarterback. It's going to be an interesting matchup going up against Chubb and Von Miller. You know, in this Denver Broncos defense, we're going to get to assess this a lot. And then week 2, bro, we get to watch each other's teams go against each other. That's going to be the greatest assessment for me right there. You know, once we see that, you're going to get a AFC team to come in and play your team, and then you're going to play a divisional game. I mean, how much better could it be?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm looking forward to it, man. Y'all don't forget to check us out Tuesdays and Thursdays, man. Awthentik and The Beard, man. 7 p.m. is when we're going to be going live. Feels a little early. It's weird after doing this 9 o'clock stream all the way into the wee hours of the night. We're at a little bit past midnight, man. But I had a great time, man. If y'all had a great time, man, I know Giants Nation did. Throw them biceps in there one time, man. Left side, strong side is in the we in the building. We are definitely in the building. So happy to be back talking football with you guys. More importantly, next week we're gonna get some real football. That's gonna be really dope, man. I'm thinking, so we do want to go over this here. So if you guys are just tuning in and you missed, you know, our picks and how we kind of gauged the whole NFC East, and we just broke down all the schedules here, this is how we got it picked pretty much for the year. I got the Giants at 9-8, winning the division. Cowboys right behind them at 8-9. Washington falling off just a little bit, losing one more game or winning one less game than they did last season, finishing at 6-11. And then the Eagles finishing at 5-12. It's funny, we both got 5-12, and then the Cowboys is pretty close too. So we're kind of just high on our teams a little bit here. The Beard's got, the Beard has 10-7 for the Washington football team. He's got 9-8 for the Cowboys, 7-10 for the Giants, 5-12 for the Eagles. I don't think this is that far off, man. I think last year I was off by a lot of games. I was off by 4 games for the Giants, and I think I had y'all getting 6 wins. But you know what I was right about last year was the start. You remember how the Cowboys started off? I was like, yo, don't be surprised if the Cowboys start 0-4 and Washington start like 1-5 or something like that. And I think y'all had 2 wins or something. So, you know, I think we're headed in the right direction with this prediction. I don't want to get too high on the horse and think that randomly this division will produce a 10-game winner. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I mean, you see it 7-10 to 10-7 on my end, and 6-11 to 9-8 in your end. Like that, it can go. That's where it's going to be in that range. I think everybody's going to probably fall into that range. You're not going to see anybody jump out the gate and go, you know, 14-3.
Right.
You know, 13.
Cowboys fans are going to be up on that high horse after the first 5-6 games because they got the easier schedule, you know, to start the season over the other teams in the division. But I mean, yo, if y'all losing some of those early games, wow, we're gonna be looking at the Cowboys crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride. I'm just ready for it to start. You know, I'm buckled in for the ride. Like I'm just waiting for the guy with a hat and a collared shirt to press the go button. You know what I'm saying? I'm
super ready, man. This is gonna be a really fun season. I'm kind of hoping the NFC East can kind of turn around and get back to, you know, the name of our show, the best division in football, man, and really be up there contending. And hopefully one of these teams can really get out there and try to make a move for a playoff run, man. I'm expecting the Giants to make the playoffs this year. I really am. And I know you're expecting Washington to repeat and make the playoffs again, which, yeah, if I won the division, I would do the same thing. Shout out Layla Capri in the building one time. Let me see that right here.
Thank you, Layla Capri, for the $4.99 super chat. 2 things to now look forward to this time of year: pumpkin spice things and Awthentik and The Beard. Glad to have you guys back at it. We are glad to be back. Thank you for joining us.
We appreciate you, Layla. And Layla,
big shout out.
Everybody make sure to go check out Layla Capri, yo. She's an awesome female artist from this area. Bars. I saw somebody talking about my bars earlier. Layla's got bars. Her live stage performance is so incredible. One of my favorite artists from around the area. I've always tried to support her, man. She's just super dope. And super dope visuals. I forgot homegirl that's on your visual team. Fire visuals. Always got the fire pictures. Make sure y'all go follow her. Put your social media handles in the chat if you can, Layla. And yeah, make sure y'all go follow her. She's super dope.
For sure. And big shout out to Lucas. Lucas,
Big
I don't know
shout
if you
out
were
to
here
Lucas.
earlier. I was earlier in the beginning of the chat. I was showing Lucas some love too, because he pops into everything that we do and always shows love, whether it's on this channel, over the years, Awthentik's music. He's always supporting everything that we do. So I just want to give a big shout out to Lucas. Thank you for the $100 Australian super chat. Says,
that's
welcome
awesome,
back,
man.
fellas. Can't wait for this season. Shout out to my nephew, Jordan Moko. Hopefully I said that right. Played his first game for Texas A&M yesterday. He only got some fourth quarter play, but that's enough for me. Here's to a big season. Big season for Jordan. Big season for Lucas. Big season for Awthentik and The Beard. Big season for the Giants, Washington football team. Big season of life for everybody. We appreciate all the love, man.
Big facts, yo. That's what's up, man. Got into the game with Texas A&M. That's
Yeah,
lit,
that's
bro. That's
that
major.
ain't no small school, man. Texas A&M, SEC football, man. That's something to be proud of. So big shout out to Lucas and big shout out to his nephew Jordan. I'm gonna keep my eye on him now for the rest of the season. I'm gonna put him on my radar,
and he got
man.
the fly name, Moco. You know, Awthentik and The Beard are kind of from Moco. You know, Mo County in the building one time.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely gonna be rooting for him, Diggy. That's fire. So, with that said, man, you maybe wanna open up a couple questions from the chat before we get up out of here, or what you thinking? How you feeling, The Beard? I ain't got much going on tomorrow. I'm lying. I got like a 7-hour session, but whatever. You know, it don't matter. It don't matter.
I do have a live auction tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're doing a little something.
If anybody has any questions, you know us, man. We always here to open up the door for the people.
Yeah, if y'all want to get a couple questions, maybe Giants related, Washington football team related, or any other team in the NFC East, before we get up out of here, man, we'll take some questions, and then, yeah, we'll make some moves. And don't forget, y'all, tune in every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays during the year. We're going to be doing shows every day on those days, and we're throwing out a couple of other shows as well, too. I'm going to be doing a Giants Hour. I've been trying to think about the name for that joint. I had a couple names. You know what I was thinking? So you know how we had that idea we were going to be doing the 1st and 10 on the new Awthentik and The Beards for Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I was thinking doing this segment where, like, we pick 4 topics that are Giants related for Wednesdays, and I was going to call it 4 on the floor. Like, 4 on the floor in music, but then, like, 4 questions on the floor. So I was kind of thinking about that. If anybody got some name suggestions, throw them out there, man. I see the first question in the chat here. Will Daniel Jones take a step forward or step back this year? I'm going to let you get that one first, Beard.
I think he takes a step forward. He has to, okay? Like, for me, I've had conversations, obviously, with Awthentik about, Daniel Jones and the Giants in general. And I think that, this is the telling season for him. As long as the addition of Galladay is healthy, Saquon stays healthy, and Jason Garrett decides to put together a well thought out game plan. I think you have to, utilize his strengths and continue to build off of his weaknesses. So I personally do see him taking a step forward this year. If he takes a step back, it's going to be tough for him to rebound in New York. Not saying that it's not possible, but I just think that this is the year that he makes that, he's either going to make a step back or it's a wrap. Step forward or it's a wrap. And I personally do honestly believe that he has it in him and he has, a cast around him to take that step forward.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on a lot of that. I think Daniel Jones can use a little bit more of his legs this year to make that a threat. because if you're looking at, guys like Kadarius Toney being healthy on the field, those kind of quick hitter screen passes, those reverses, those things are going to keep defenses off balance already. And then imagine if you can do RPO options that happen with Saquon Barkley and Kadarius Toney on plays like where you're faking the reverse and things like that. You can really open up things for Daniel Jones. I think year 3 he's really got no excuse now, except maybe that offensive line right now, the way it was looking during the preseason. But I think they're going to patch that up, and I think they're going to get better. And, I think it's going to start that left guard position. I know a lot of people are looking at Andrew Thomas, who's another player that needs to step up this year, granted, for sure. But of the 4 offensive linemen that were drafted early in this past draft, he was supposed to be the safe take, and he's on one of the worst teams out of those guys that were drafted to those places they went. So I think a lot of Daniel Jones, maturation is going to come from the help of a guy like Andrew Thomas and by, using a little bit of his legs. I think that's very important. And I think there's nowhere to go but up, man. Last season was so bad for him, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions or whatever. That's just not it. But if you look at the back half of the season, I know he missed about 2 games, whatever it was. He only turned the ball over 3 times. And for him, that is a milestone coming out of the first 2 seasons where the dude had it was like 38 turnovers or something crazy. It was ridiculous. So I look to see Daniel Jones cleaning that up. And Daniel Jones is not a running quarterback, so he's the kind of guy that needs that help. He needs a A1 wide receiver. And Kenny Galladay also has that same pressure on him. We're paying Kenny Galladay the same amount of money that we were supposed to pay Odell Beckham, damn near $90 million. So he's got to step up. That's a lot of money. Adoree Jackson's going to have to step up the same way because these were big, big, big money transactions in the offseason. So there's a lot of guys that got pressure on him. We need Saquon Barkley healthy. Everybody is seeing the statistics with Saquon Barkley on the field and with Saquon Barkley off the field when Daniel Jones is there. I almost think I got the thing highlighted. Oh, man, I just saw that thumbnail again. That thumbnail is fire. That thumbnail is so fire. So, yeah, I don't got the Saquon numbers without the Daniel Jones numbers without Saquon, but they were incredible. I mean, just touchdowns, everything, turnovers, everything. So we need to be healthy, like you said, the Beard, and I think that'll be the number one thing that'll help Daniel Jones take the step up. And also, what step are we coming from? Are we coming from the step of 2020 where he had 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, or are we coming from where he left us off in his rookie season where we were like, whoa, this guy just put up one of the better rookie seasons out of a quarterback, period. Had some turnovers, but the promise was there. I like Daniel Jones. I think he can be the guy. And I think that even if it doesn't quite work out this year in New York, he's still going to be our quarterback going into year 4.
Next question. Do you all make bets about football? If so, Tim could wager the beard, and the other guys then have to grow a beard the entire playoffs and offseason.
Ooh,
I make
gangsta.
bets on football, but I don't make bets on my beard.
Yeah.
There's not anything.
When he say wager the beard, that mean he got to cut the beard off? Nah.
Yeah, there's nothing I'm that confident into where I would bet my beard. Couldn't do it. Won't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
But yeah, definitely. The beard is a big better. He's a big better. Sunday mornings parlay vibes. Yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of betting this year. And yeah, just stay tuned, man. This dude is a gambling machine. He used to be a gambling addict. He still got coins from when he was, gambling up at Maryland Live and all that.
Oh man.
I'm losing your picture a little bit on my side. I don't know if you losing it, but like tell Miss Kelly stop streaming Housewives of Atlanta.
The next 2 questions are actually pretty good ones. Marjorie asks, how many carries will Saquon Barkley get opening game? I'm going to say between 9 and 12.
Yeah, that internet is buffering. 9. You said between 9 and 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting audio. Your picture's froze, but we're getting audio. So between 9 and 12. Yeah, I agree with you. 9 and 12. And honestly, I think they should keep him somewhere around that mark throughout the whole season. I think it'd be important. I've preached this, and I'm gonna hammer this nail again. The Giants need to utilize Saquon Barkley a bit like how Sean Payton utilizes Alvin Kamara. I think that's important. Utilize him in the passing game. Give him a decent amount of carries, but let's not try to make Saquon Barkley into Ezekiel Elliott. Let's make Saquon Barkley into Saquon Barkley. He can do it all. He is a generational talent. I got big faith in him even after this knee injury. And I think if you give him around, 10 to 14 carries once the season starts rolling, maybe a couple targets in the pass game, yeah, that's where I want to keep him around. Right around 1,000 yards for the year, but also a major element in our passing game as well, because now a lot of these guys are going to be streaking down the field. We got the speed to be able to keep safeties over the top, and we saw Eli Manning do it when he was the check down king with Saquon Barkley in Saquon Barkley's rookie season in 2018, where Saquon Barkley had like 92 catches. So let's continue down that path. I think opening day, Saquon Barkley will probably get about 9 carries. I'm going to say 9 carries.
Next question. Do you expect to see Heineke this year?
1,000.
Do I expect to see Heineke? No. Will we see Heineke? Most likely.
Then you should expect to see him. Those kind of contradict each other a little bit.
No. I don't expect to see Heineke. I expect Ryan Fitzpatrick to perform well and play 17 games.
Yeah, you hope Ryan Fitzpatrick can finish the season, and you will see Taylor Heineke. I think we'll see Taylor Heineke, because you can't count out injuries too. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a tough, durable guy, but he's also not that elusive in the pocket. You remember the last play that he had with the Miami Dolphins where he threw like a 40-yard pass, right? But the pressure was barreling down his face, and they smacked him. His chin strap was sideways over his eyes. And he got up, he took the hit, but a guy can't keep taking hits like that. How old is Ryan Fitzpatrick? Like 47?
No.
Like
No,
30, like 38 maybe? Yeah, OG. The older you get, you can't be taking them hits.
35, 36, something
Man,
like
I've been
that.
seeing some old people falling off them crates doing the crate challenge. Man, it's not good.
I tried to tell Awthentik we should do Awthentik and The Beard crate challenge, but
We can do the beard crate challenge for sure. I'll be the cameraman and, commentate, but I ain't stepping on no crates. You see how many? I've only seen like 3 people actually make it and get to the end.
I seen the one dude twist up doing it, right?
Yeah.
And then I seen that same dude go up and back down backwards.
Oh, wait, was that the same dude that was twisting up?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. That was tight. And he stood at the top, and he was finished rolling up the J. Yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
So the next question is for you, Big Blue in the Bronx.
Okay, so for week 1, for me, I'd rather see Shane Lemieux on the bench. He's dealing with the patella injury, I believe. That can end your career for real. That's a tough injury. The kid Bredesen, I don't know how you pronounce it, coming from the Ravens and whatnot. Ravens had a lot of depth on that offensive line. This dude could be a sleeper. And like I was saying earlier, I think that the left guard is probably the most important position on the Giants offensive line, because I went and I looked at Bobby's tape from Talking Giants on all the snaps from the preseason game with Andrew Thomas giving up the sacks and whatnot like that. If you look at it, the guard is being bull rushed and being pushed back into Daniel Jones on almost every one of those plays. And I talked about this a little earlier about how Daniel Jones dropped. He's a taller kid. Daniel Jones has a long stride. So when he drops back, especially out of the shotgun, he's 8-9 yards back. So your left tackle has a lot of ground to cover when edge rushers are trying to get to that edge. So it's important that, one, Daniel Jones is able to step up in the pocket, because you could just push that guy off to the side, and if Daniel Jones can step up, then he's not going to get hit. But if the left guard is not there to be able to hold his own, Daniel Jones is going to have no room to step up in the pocket, and you're going to see a lot of sacks, So, yeah, I think Lemieux can be a guy that we slowly bring into the lineup, but we'll see. He's been there. That's the other thing, too, is that Lemieux has been there. So he knows the system. He knows the playbook. He knows what we're doing. He knows what the coaches want out of that position. So I got to trust the coaches on that. But for me, I'd probably put Lemieux on the bench for that game 1.
Fitzmagic or The Beard? Who has the better beard?
I'm going to go The Beard.
The Beard?
Yeah, I'm going to go The Beard.
Fitzmagic is close, but
let me get a look at his beard.
We're gonna go with The Beard, because the thing I got about my beard too, though, is I got a nice little extension on the stash.
And you remember when Ryan Fitzpatrick and Gardner Minshew were about to play, and he made fun of his stash, because Gardner Minshew has the twist, and he was like, nah, we're pretty much beard gang over here, bro. And then Gardner Minshew's just like, yeah, whatever. You kind of got both, so best of both sides on that. Ryan Fitzpatrick's beard is like more like right here too. It's like a little chin strap. You got some.
Shout out to Tommy
for
the $4.99 super chat for Tim's Potato
I know.
Internet.
And he's hardwired through Ethernet, man. Let's make a call to Xfinity. But I'm telling you, I don't think it's Potato Internet. I think it's Miss Kelly up there streaming some stuff, or it's Caitlin, or it's somebody else in the household. Somebody in there doing some streaming. I told my girl, you better watch out. Don't be streaming crazy.
The Beard by a country mile.
And man, bandwidth is an interesting thing, man. Like, I'm pushing 300 megabytes up, 300 megabytes down, and my picture be coming out like not clear sometimes. So I'm calling Verizon like every other week, like, bruh, I'm not paying y'all for blurry, pixelated internet. But shout out to the Beard's internet. It's looking pretty good on my side right now. I don't know how it's looking like on y'all side, but yeah, that's what the tests are for. Hey, Tommy, you missed when I shouted you out and I talked about how you and Tracy be going live for like 10 hours and y'all just be like, the title of the stream be testing out some new stuff. You know, that's kind of what we're doing today. This ain't officially the first episode because if it comes down to it, bro, I'm putting down the $40 a month to get you 300 up, 300 down. That's how we're going to do.
The Zableda experience wants to know, how do you feel about Sam Darnold and my Carolina Panthers?
The Beard hates Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold can be a serviceable quarterback. I think he'd be pretty decent. I think he could do something like his ceiling is Derek Carr. There you go, which is good. Let's not get it twisted.
He looked fairly good in his limited preseason action. I think I have opened my mind to give him this opportunity to get away from the Jets and see what he can do in Carolina. I think he has some really nice weapons over there. I think he's going to be a lot more comfortable. You know, he's got Christian McCaffrey. He's got good rookies in Chuba Hubbard and Terrace Marshall Jr. He also has DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. So
a lot of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, there's no excuses. So, I mean, Carolina could be an 8-9 team. They could be a 6-11 team. They could be a 10-7 team. Surprisingly,
I wouldn't rule out like the 3-4 either. You know, like 3-4 wins, bro. I wouldn't rule out like 4-13. I ain't gonna rule it out, man.
Do you guys think you'll see Minshew this year, man?
Oh, that is a great question. That is a great question. Gardner Minshew is another guy who I think they place him kind of like they do Derek Carr. It's like the dude was playing starting football.
Yeah.
He could be a starting quarterback.
I don't know if you've watched this draft before or not, Mr. Hang Glider, man. I'm a big Minshew guy.
Love Minshew.
I've been talking about Gardner Minshew since the day he was drafted. So I absolutely think he is a starting quarterback in this and in the NFL. Will we see him this year? It's a possibility. I mean, look, this is the NFL. Anything is possible. And we got 17 games this year. So injuries are on to be on a whole nother level. COVID on a whole nother level. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to be playing, who's not going to be playing. So definitely there's a chance that we see Gardner Minshew. We'll see. It sucks because, like, I like Gardner Minshew. I like Jalen Hurts. I would love to see both of them succeed as quarterbacks in the NFL, but they're on the same team now. So I have no idea.
They're going to be keeping 3 quarterbacks on the roster, which is kind of strange, too, because Flacco played pretty decent in the preseason. He showed you could come in and at least be a backup. Man, I'm going to go ahead and say we don't see Gardner Minshew this year. I don't think we will. And that's unfortunate because I'm looking at his stats here, rookie season, he put up 3,200, almost 3,300 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He came back the second year, and he only played in 8 games, and you saw what they was trying to do over there. It almost looked like they was trying to tank over there so they could get the quarterback. And he had 16 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So what does that say to me? It says to me that the guy can take care of the ball. In 2 years, he has a 62.9 completion percentage, which is really good. I think he's Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the quarterback situation in Chicago with Andy Dalton, Gardner Minshew could be over there doing the same thing. So, yeah, I agree with Balby. I mean, the stats aren't half bad. The stats are pretty good. But if I had to bank on it just with, Flacco being over there, already knowing the system a little bit, I don't think we're going to see Gardner Minshew, and I think that's a little bit unfortunate.
Yep. It definitely is. Ooh, one more question. Do you think Washington football team will try and draft a quarterback of the future or look to go with vet free agents? Well, if they finish, good
questions, man.
If they finish with the record that Awthentik believes they will,
they're going to get a quarterback.
Then they'll draft a quarterback. If they, I don't this like regime of front office personnel. I don't think that they're willing to trade the bank, to move up in the draft, or trade away every pick for the next 20 years like they're the Los Angeles Rams, or but It's going to be difficult though. This is the season really is going to determine the future, because if the defense is as good as everybody says it is, then they're going to start running out of time before they're not going to be able to afford everybody on that defense anymore. So their hands are almost being forced. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but I think it really just depends on where they finish the season.
I think 1,000% in the next 2 years you'll see them draft a quarterback. Fitzpatrick is just like a Band-Aid for now. He's old too. I was joking about his age, 48. He's 38.
Yeah.
Which in the NFL is pretty old. But we are in a era of the NFL where sometimes older quarterbacks are able to play really well. I think Ben Roethlisberger had a pretty decent season last year. A lot of people were down on him. I thought he had a pretty decent for an old guy. We got Tom Brady. Matt Ryan's getting up there. He's still playing pretty solid football. Joe Flacco's still in this league getting up there too. So, there is room for that, but you got to prepare for the future, I think. So, it like the Beard said, it all depends on where you're at in the draft. And if they have a bad season and you got the opportunity to get a guy that you think can be a game changer for your team at the quarterback position, especially with what's happening on the defensive side of the ball, you got to go ahead and pull the trigger and get that quarterback in this next draft, if that happens. But I think at least within the next 2 years, they'll draft somebody, even if we see it maybe in a later round. Because Heineke's not young. A lot of people think Heineke's a rookie, but he's not that young, but he is young enough to, take upon the reins of quarterback position at or for the Washington football team if needed. So there is that. I don't know how they feel on that. Ron Rivera did bring him over from Carolina, so he does have some kind of faith in him. But, yeah, I think they'll get a quarterback sooner or later here.
For sure. Oh. One more for the road. Another Daniel
Jones take the next step in year 3. Yeah, we kind of had this question asked already, and me and the Beard both agreed, we think Daniel Jones has what it takes. He's got the weapons now. There's really not many excuses, and things don't got to be perfect to win games. Winning is the best thing. And going back to Derek Carr, I know I've been hammering on Derek Carr a little bit this whole kind of podcast. The reason why people don't put Derek Carr in the top 10 quarterback talks with those kind of statistics is because they're not winning games. Let's keep it real. If they were winning games, they would be talking about him as a top 10, maybe at least a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. Those statistics, it's kind of crazy to me that his statistics have gone under the radar like this. 48 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 68.8, and 101.1 passer rating in the past 2 seasons. They're just not winning, So I think it has to do a lot of that. It's like once you start winning, they're going to look at you a lot different. So Daniel Jones, yeah. I think Daniel Jones has what it takes. Got the weapons now. No excuses. Just go. Get it. Get these W's, man, and let them start talking about you.
For sure.
I could tell the Beard getting a little tired. He getting a little tired. Look at his eyes. He getting a little tired. See, I'm used to this. I ain't going to be to sleep till about 5 a.m. I've been doing research for like 3 weeks now on trying to figure out ways to improve the stream and just doing a whole bunch of things over here on my end at the studio. So I'm not going to bed no time soon. I'm about to do a late night Giant stream from like 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Nah, let me stop playing. But yeah, is that the last question we got? Oh, who's the best QB in the division not named Dak?
Fitzpatrick. That's a tough
I just got
one,
tired,
man.
guys. Giants Nation is in the building one time. I think Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in the division outside of Dak Prescott. That's my thoughts on it. Had a bad down year definitely last year. Ryan Fitzpatrick, you ain't played in this division yet. You don't know what it is. You don't know what's good. Them Giants are coming for you, man. We in the building. You already know what it is. But, hey, we got a lot to prove before we can solidify and stamp that, But I think that Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in the division.
Could be. Or it could be,
man.
Gardner Minshew.
Minshew? I didn't see that. The first time I read that, I did not see that. Minshew? Man, if you let the statistics tell it, I wouldn't be mad at that. Minshew is definitely up there. But he's not going to play. That's going to be the tough part right there for Gardner Minshew is he going to get on the field and be able to play? I don't know. We'll see, man. But it's been Awthentik and The Beard, man. We've been live now for 3 hours and 37 minutes. What a way to welcome back the 2021 NFL season, man. I'm glad to see y'all in the building. One more time before we get up out of here. Let's see them biceps. in the chat, man. Left side.
Strong side.
In the building one time, man. We appreciate y'all being here, man. Everybody who pulled up and just chopped it up with us about some football. Yo, this has been major love, man. I feel really good to be back, man. It's been good to just see y'all. Good to hear my own voice through this microphone, through this monitoring system. It's been a little while, man, you know. It's been a little while, man. And it's a different kind of setup with the Beard being over there, you know, down in Wheaton, and me being over here in D.C. But we, you know, we always want to just upgrade what we're doing, man. That's the one thing that I'm always trying to do with this podcast and the Beard as well, is raise the bar, man. Try to bring better content that we're most importantly satisfied with, that we know people will dig, man. And we really appreciate y'all being here. Everybody who dropped a like, who came through, dropped a bicep, you know, had a question for us. Helped us out with the fantasy draft, man. The fantasy team came out pretty decent.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate y'all, man. And this stream flew by, 3.5 hours. The first hour, we didn't even really get into the schedule because we were just happy to be back, man, and just chopping it up with y'all, man. And, you know, moving forward with the growth of this channel, that is the last thing that is the most important to me, because we've built the community here through Giants Nation, through Washington Football Teams Nation, and we have what we wanted out of YouTube already, you know. So we just appreciate y'all being here. Big respect to y'all too, Wales, and everybody who tunes in us that's not in DC or not in New York. We got a lot of love for y'all, man. This show is just gonna continue to prosper and do what we do. We're gonna try to bring the content to y'all every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and a couple of more days. Be on the lookout for these streams, man. Look for that thumbnail. Me and the Beard looking real gangster in that thumbnail. Y'all talking about them album covers. Yo, it was right here. Yeah, boy, we got an album cover on hand, man. So before we sign off, man, Beard, any last thoughts, man, or anything you want to say to the people?
I mean, I just want to say, you know, shout out to the people. Like, thank you, because, you know, like, we literally told everybody we were coming on, you know, to do this tonight, like an hour and a half beforehand, and you guys showed up and hung out and participated, and it felt good to be back. You know, we haven't done this for a while, and it's just good to know that as soon as we pop back on, that everybody was here to show us love, and we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So thank you very much for all the love, for all the support. We really do appreciate it, and we are looking forward to a wild season, and we're looking forward to spending it with you guys. So definitely excited to be back. Appreciate all the love, all the support. I'm hyped. I'm ready.
I'm hyped too, man. I'm super hyped, man. So we just got, you know, just under a week, man, before we going to tap into this new NFL football season, man. So look, we'll see y'all on Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be our first official show. Make sure y'all pull up, man. We're going to be doing a little bit of recapping from last season, and we're going to be focusing on the quarterback situation in the NFC East, man. I know a lot of y'all want to talk about that. We tried to not let the cat out the bag too crazy today, talking about Daniel Jones, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jalen Hurts, and your boy Dak Prescott, and you know some Ben DiNucci's and some Gilbert Grapes, some stuff like that too, man. But yo, once again, from me, Awthentik, my man the Beard, one time, left side,
strong side.
We in the building, man. We gonna see y'all on Tuesday, man. Peace out, y'all. We appreciate y'all being here. That's love, Giants Nation. You know it. We in the building. Peace.